चाहिए, इनके लाइसेंस कैंसिल होने चाहिए। ये किस तरह की ये यूनिवर्सिटी कम है और मुझे लगता है एक रेडिकल इंस्टीट्यूट ज़्यादा है। ये एक मदरसा टर्न्ड यूनिवर्सिटी लगती है जहाँ इतने डॉक्टर हैं जो रेडिकलाइज्ड हैं।
मोदी जी की सरकार में आतंकवाद और आतंकियों के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। उनको जड़ से खत्म किया जा रहा है, चाहे आतंकवाद हो चाहे नक्सलवाद हो, सबको मोदी सरकार में तबाह किया जा रहा है। इसलिए कोई भी गुनाहगार जो भी इस आतंकवादी घटना में संलिप्त है, वो अगर पाताल में भी छिपा है, जैसा हमारे माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने कहा है, तो उसको पाताल से भी खोद कर लाया जाएगा।
Shifting focus, in a big win for Indian agencies, United States has now deported Anmol Bishnoi, who is the younger brother of Lawrence Bishnoi. Now, Department of Homeland Security informed his son Zishan Siddiqui of the deportation via email. Now, Bishnoi is expected in India on November 19th, which is today. Anmol Bishnoi is wanted by India in connection with several violent crimes and faces at least 9 arrest warrants. He was arrested by American officials in November last year, although not on charges related to criminal activities in India. Days later, India began the extradition process. This was after a Maharashtra court issued a non-bailable warrant and global law enforcement agency Interpol issued a red corner notice. Now, sources have revealed to CNN News 18 that gangster Anmol is being deported along with a group of 200 illegal immigrants residing illegally in the US. Top intelligence sources have also indicated that his expulsion is linked to Trump-era immigration rules, under which
बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा के संग त्योहार की उमंग।
Hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Hem Kaur Saroy, and here's what we've lined up for you on the show at this hour. Delhi blast probe widens further. Al Falah University founder Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui arrested by ED in a money laundering case. Anmol Bishnoi, key accused in Baba Siddiqui and Siddhu Moosewala murder case, has been deported from the US to land in India today. NDA readies for grand oath ceremony. Nitish to take oath as Bihar Chief Minister for the 10th time on the 20th of November in Prime Minister Modi's presence. Lalu Yadav's daughter Rohini Acharya challenges those who accused her of donating a filthy kidney to her father to open debate. Cracks deepen in Mahayuti as Eknath Shinde's ministers skip cabinet meeting over BJP's induction spree. Sabarimala sees massive rush. Opposition blames left in temple board for mismanagement. All right, in a major boost for Indian agencies, the United States has deported Anmol Bishnoi, younger brother of gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. The US Department of Homeland Security has formally informed Zishan Siddiqui, who's the son of Baba Siddiqui, about this deportation via an email. Anmol, who was wanted in India in multiple violent crime cases and is facing at least 9 arrest warrants, is expected to arrive today. Sources have also told CNN News 18 that he is being deported as part of a larger group of around 200 illegal immigrants being removed under strict US immigration rules. This is the latest that we're getting.
I think this is another feather at the hat of the Indian foreign policy when it comes to extraditions of many of the elusive and fugitive characters who have left India. And I think this is give a good indication that India is pursuing all the nation and asking them to bring all the wanted people inside India for a trial inside India. And I think that's also a message for your neighbors. They should also respect India concern and also bring those people who have committed any kind of a terrorist act or any kind of, killing on a crime to India for a trial to achieve the justice, and let the people who suffered, the families of the victim, should also get their justice at the end of the day.
मैं समझता हूँ ये हमारी जो एजेंसीज हैं, जो सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज हैं, हमारी जो इंटरपोल है, सीबीआई है, उनकी बहुत बड़ी कामयाबी है कि किस प्रकार से असाइलम नहीं होने दिया उसको और उसको निकाल कर लिया है। वरना असाइलम का कानून अमेरिका और कनाडा में बहुत इजी कानून है और कोई भी जाके पहले कई सालों पहले जब उग्रवादी वहां जाते थे या बदमाश कोई जाते थे या कोई गैंगस्टर्स जाते थे, वो वहां पर असाइलम मांगते थे और असाइलम इजीली मिल जाता था। और वो असाइलम ना दिलवाने का एक जो हमारा सक्सेस रेट है, मैं समझता हूं ये हमारी जो राजनीतिक जो कूटनीति है उसको दर्शाता है कि हम किस प्रकार से ऐसे क्रिमिनल्स को जो असाइलम लेकर यहाँ पे क्राइम करके असाइलम लेना वहां चाहते हैं, उनको नहीं लेने दिया और उसको डिपोर्ट करवा दिया।
All right, as I mentioned earlier, he's wanted in multiple high-profile cases. Let's just take you through all of the cases that he is wanted and involved in. Here's a closer look at this. Deported to India now. In May 2022, he was in connection with the Siddhu Moosewala murder as well. Shot and killed by hired gunmen in an ambush. That's what we do know about the case. And this is one of the high-profile cases that he's wanted in. He's accused of providing arms to the shooters who were involved in the killing of Sidhu Moosewala, and that's one of the cases, one of the high-profile cases that he is a part of as well. Then, of course, the October 2024 Siddiqui murder, shot dead outside of his office in Bandra. That's another high-profile case named in charge sheet by the Mumbai police as well. We're talking about Anmol Bishnoi, of course, and is accused of planning an attack on Siddiqui. Another thing that he's been accused of. This was in October 2024 with regard to the Siddiqui murder case, which is one of the high-profile cases, many that he is accused of as well. So this is what we do know so far. He has now been deported to India. We're now being joined by Arnima and Siddhant for more on this. Siddhant, let me just come to you first. What can you tell us? What's the update on this?
Well, that's right. We got to know about the deportation of Anmol Bishnoi through the mail, which son of late Baba Siddiqui, Zishan Siddiqui, received from the Homeland Security yesterday, confirming Anmol Bishnoi's deportation. So, in last 1 year, especially after President Trump coming to power, there has been more than 2,700 Indians deported back to India. In fact, in the earlier batches also, there were many individuals, with criminal antecedents, with criminal background. Perhaps at that point in time also, when they were deported back, they were immediately arrested, detained by the agency. Now we're getting to know this fresh batch of illegal immigrants is set to arrive in India today at around 12 noon. This is what we've been told. And out of 200 people, 197 are illegal immigrants, but 2 of them are people with the criminal background. One is the younger brother of gangster Lawrence Bishnoi, Anmol Bishnoi. In fact, we are reporting outside the NIA headquarters. We have been told right at his arrivals in New Delhi, he will immediately be arrested by NIA, and he could be brought to the NIA headquarters or could be taken directly to the courts. In fact, as you rightly said, he has been involved in many criminal activities in India. There are 18 ongoing cases against him, including the killing of Sidhu Moosewala, firing at Salman Khan's residence, and killing of Baba Siddiqui. So he is India's most wanted. There was a red corner notice issued against him. In fact, Mumbai police has been pursuing this case through official channels and perhaps had requested for his deportation from the United States. And since there is an ongoing crackdown on illegal immigrants in the United States, perhaps United States decided to detain him. He was detained in Louisiana, that is what we have been told, and now he's being brought back to India. Also very important to highlight, this is not an extradition, this is a deportation.
Right,
it's an ongoing process after President Trump coming to power, and you know, more than 2,700 Indians have already been deported this year.
Absolutely, San. Thank you so much for mentioning that as well, because that's exactly what I wanted to discuss as well. Arnima, let me come to you. Of course, there is a legal distinction, I believe, here as well. He has been removed, which is deportation from the United States. This is not an extradition. Do you think that's going to have any sort of an effect on the legal processes and procedures that he might face in India?
So extradition is more difficult for Indian agencies because for extradition, you need to have a court order here in India. The authorities in the country where the extradition is happening from, in this case, United States, there also the court, the authorities need to be convinced about the evidence that you have. It's a long drawn process. And as you're seeing in a number of cases of financial crime that are stuck in the United Kingdom, Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, and even Mehul Choksi, the process of extradition is long drawn. Deportation is relatively easier for Indian agencies. Deportation is happening because Anmol Bishnoi went to the United States on forged documents. United States took him into custody in 2024 because his passport was found to be in the name of someone else. So the document itself, the reason why he had landed in US, there was a problem with that. Then the red corner notice, NIA took over the probe. There was another additional case slapped by the Mumbai police. There's also Punjab police, which wants Anmol Bishnoi. So all these agencies put together the evidence that they had. And because of that red corner notice, after his deportation, he's being sent back to India. Interpol sources have confirmed to us that the process of deportation, the paperwork have all been completed. NIA sources are confirming to us that he will land at the Delhi airport, not in any other part of the country. The reason that is important is because when these plane loads of Indians were deported from US in the past, they landed in Punjab. But in this case, this plane is landing in Delhi, and immediately upon landing, NIA officials are there at ground zero. They will ensure that the paperwork to take him into custody is completed. In all likelihood, he'll be taken straight to court after medical checkup.
All right. Now, do stay on with us. CNN News 18's Zakir Jacob also spoke with Baba Siddiqui's son on what the deportation could mean for the country. Listen to this.
What exactly did this email say? Who was it from and when did you receive it?
So basically, my family has been in touch with the USA authorities since the past few months. We've registered ourselves in their victim notifications as the victim of the family. And they also gave us details in the past about Anmol Bishnoi, that he was in the jail of Iowa, detained by the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security. And today, per se, the mail said that the federal government has removed the offender Anmol Bishnoi from the United States of America. And as of 18th November 2025, he's no longer inside the United States of America, and he's been removed from America. So the question arises that where does he go from here? So exactly why I passed on the information to the officials, and I'm hoping that him being Indian, he's extradited back to India because he's no longer in the custody of the United States of America. So it's very essential that we bring him down to India, especially to Mumbai, interrogate him and ask him who exactly, asked him, since he's named in the murder of my father, who is the mastermind and who's asked him to do so.
Has anybody from the government, the agencies, or even the state government got in touch with you after this story became public?
No. So basically, I've just been notified by the USA authorities. And after I got the mail, I spoke to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawarji. I've also asked him to speak to the Honorable CM. I've also, spoken to the officials and the Honorable CM. And I'm hoping that, swift action is taken, because now the USA is clearly officially telling me that they do not have him in custody and they've removed him from the USA. So now I think it should be easier for the Indian government to act swiftly and bring him down and actually interrogate him. And
how hopeful are you that he will be brought to India, brought to Mumbai specifically, and made to stand trial in the murder of your father?
I mean, as a son, I'm always hopeful. I have faith in the judiciary system of my country, but I would appreciate if I got more updates from our government as well. I have gotten updates from the USA, but I haven't been, getting any updates from here. But I'm hopeful. There's nothing else that matters more than getting justice for my father's murder, and I don't care about anything else but Anmol Bishnoi coming down here and him being interrogated, and I mean actually coming to know who's the mastermind behind this, because Anmol Bishnoi had nothing to do with my father. So obviously he's done this on the behest of someone. And now that we're getting our hands on Anmol Bishnoi, it's a good way of actually coming to know who exactly did this.
Did your father at any point of time ever mention Anmol Bishnoi or Lawrence Bishnoi or anybody in the Bishnoi clan or
No.
gang?
Never, never. There was never an instance where my father mentioned the Bishnois or any of them, and nor did he have anything to do with them, nor did he ever have a conversation with them. So exactly why it was so surprising for the family when Anmol Bishnoi was named. But I'm sure the Mumbai police must have done its due diligence before naming him. And if they have named him, then there must be someone who's told him or asked him to do though. It sounds like a contract killing. So that would only come to light when Anmol Bishnoi is brought down and he opens his mouth on who exactly asked him to do so.
Did he mention any kind of threat to his life in the days leading up to his murder last year?
See, there was no threat per se, but there was obviously a lot of pressure from. There were instances where I feel I've always mentioned in the past also that there were some builders who SRA builders who were not very happy and were putting all sorts of pressure. So I have named them in my chart sheet, but I think now that we're talking about Anmol Bishnoi, I have named them in my statement per se. But now that we talk about Anmol Bishnoi, it's very important that Anmol Bishnoi is brought down and exactly asked on who asked him to do all of these things.
All right, of course, on CNN News 18, we are tracking Anmol Bishnoi's return. He is the wanted gangster who will arrive at the IGI airport. He's expected to arrive at around 10 a.m. and from there, as we were speaking to Anima earlier as well, expected to straight away be taken to court. We are tracking his return. We're tracking all sorts of movements that are going to be happening, transfers and interrogations that are to follow as well. For more on this, we have Anshul live with us. Anshul, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this is what we are hearing right now, that he's been removed from the United States. He's expected to arrive at IGI at around in about 45 minutes from now. What can you tell us?
Well, yes, Anmol Bishnoi, along with other illegal immigrants in the United States, have been deported from the United States, and it is expected that the flight will land over here in India at approximately 10 a.m. Then the immigration processes will happen, and by 11 a.m. it is expected that the NIA will actually go ahead and formally arrest him. Post that, he will be taken to a hospital where the initial medical checkup or the medical legal certificate would be made, and then eventually he will be produced in front of the Patiala House Court, where the NIA will seek further custody of Anmol Bishnoi, because remember, there are several cases that are being investigated against Anmol Bishnoi. One of the cases that is being investigated is by the NIA of the larger terror nexus that had come up, and how these gangsters who were operating from across the border were actually involved in carrying out several criminal activities out here, specifically in North India and also in parts of Mumbai. But there is definitely a competition between agencies at this point in time, because all of these agencies want to go ahead and interrogate Anmol Bishnoi, be it the Punjab police, be it the Delhi police, be it the Rajasthan police, or for that matter Mumbai police as well, whereas central agencies such as the NIA are all waiting hands on to just get access to Anmol Bishnoi, because he is one of the key links that needs to be interrogated before any sort of a complete investigation could happen. He has been involved in ordering the killing of Siddhu Moosewala. He has been involved in demanding ransom from various businessmen out here in the national capital. He has also been involved in the killing of Baba Siddiqui and the shooting that happened outside the residence of Salman Khan as well. So definitely there are several cases that are being investigated by multiple agencies, and as soon as Anmol Bishnoi will land over here, definitely there is going to be this race amongst agencies to get his custody and to interrogate him further. But definitely as good luck that he is being deported from the United States and he is being handed over back to India. Definitely a lot of investigations are going to be done, and definitely a lot of cases are going to be solved once Anmol Bishnoi lands developments over here in the national capital within the next few minutes.
Right. Arunima, Anshul has mentioned a few pertinent points here. Of course, we're going to talk about the interstate transfers and interrogations as well, but we are going to see a focus on specific cases, of course, Baba Siddiqui, Siddhu Moosewala, Salman Khan firing as well. However, there, of course, will be a concerted effort to map out this entire network and its finances as well.
So there is a gangsters FIR that NIA was probing, in which Anmol Bishnoi, Lawrence Bishnoi, all their other associates have been named. So the entire gangster terror network in Punjab has been investigated by the National Investigation Agency. The charge sheet has been filed in this case, which dates back to 2022. And Anmol Bishnoi's custody, once taken by NIA, will focus on this particular FIR, this particular investigation itself. If you go by the other big man who was brought into NIA's custody from the United States, accused of terrorism, accused of a high-profile case like 2611, Tawahur Rana. So in that case also, Mumbai police wanted to question Tawahur Rana, and it was given a chance to question Tawahur Rana while he was still broadly in NIA's custody. So a similar pattern could be followed here as well. Well, NIA keeps the broad custody of Anmol Bishnoi, traveling with him from one part of the country to the other. One doesn't really know how it will work out security-wise, because these are high-profile, high-target gangsters. There are intra-gang rivalries at work as well. Goldie Brar is a player in Punjab, along with the Bishnois, who originally their support base is Rajasthan. So one will have to really see how the considerations are kept in mind. But the security agencies are definitely upbeat that Anmol Bishnoi's custody for NIA will unravel who are the other players in this. Already NIA has managed to carry out searches across Delhi NCR, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat, to hunt out everyone who's supporting the Bishnois, supporting the Goldie Brar gang, essentially supporting this gangster terror network. But getting Anmol Bishnoi into custody will unravel whatever loose ends are still there as far as investigation goes.
All right. Arunima and Anshul, thank you so much for joining us for all this information. Right now, we're of course going to be tracking all the developments closely. He is expected to arrive at the IGI at 10 a.m. We will get you all the updates then. Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. There a lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module. Now, CNN has also accessed order which is sending the Al Falah owners to 13 days ED custody, as I just told you. The founder of the Al Falah University is in custody. Saket Court says his custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger terror ecosystem, the Al Falah ecosystem. Saket Court also noted that the ED submission that only a small part of Al Falah ecosystem has been identified till now. And they've also said that his family members are in the Gulf and he might flee the country as well. So that is a threat that remains. However, the owner has been sent into 13 days custody and that remains imperative. He is a very, very crucial link here. As you know, Al Falah was truly at the center of all the terror that was emerging from this university, and we're yet to uncover what was really going on behind the scenes. For more on this, we have with us Ananya. Thank you so much for joining us, Ananya. We really are learning more and more about this Al-Falah University. It only goes to show how far and wide this entire network had spread.
Well, absolutely. In fact, this is a big breakthrough that the Enforcement Directorate had as far as the funding of the Al-Falah University is concerned. And the Al-Falah Trust's owner was actually taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate yesterday. And a 13-day police custody remand was granted after he was produced late last night before, in fact, the additional sessions judge at the Saket Court. And very important to highlight is that the court has noted that not only his family members are in the Gulf, but there is a big risk that he might flee the country. And that's the reason why custodial interrogation is necessary. Not only that, a small chunk, the Enforcement Directorate says and tells the court that a small chunk of the Al-Falah ecosystem, which amounts to over 415 crores, is something, that has been uncovered, and it could be much larger in nature, and that is why his custodial interrogation is necessary, since he's somebody who knows about all the financial roots of the Al-Falah Trust and the kind of funding that comes through the Al-Falah University. And that's the reason why, in fact, this particular person needs to be in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. 13 days of police custody remand is what has been granted. 14 days was actually sought. And that is something, that makes it very, very imperative as to what was this university actually in reality. Was it, in fact, a terror funding ecosystem? Was it, a university that was fueling terror, or whether there are much more than what meets the eye, is something that could be uncovered by this multi-agency probe that is being carried out by, in fact, the Enforcement Directorate, the National Investigation Agency, and obviously the Faridabad and the Delhi police itself.
Right, of course, Ananya, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on that. The main accused in the alleged terror plot busted by the Gujarat Anti-Terror Squad. We're talking about the Rising terror plot right now. This is the breaking that we're getting right now. Dr. Ahmad Mohyuddin Syed was injured allegedly during a fight between the three accused in this terror case, with three local under trial prisoners in high security area of Sabarimala Central Jail in Ahmedabad. He was taken to Ahmedabad Civil Hospital and brought back to the jail after treatment. This is the latest that we're getting right now. All right, Anshul, let me just come to you. If you could just tell us all that has transpired so far right now in this recent plot.
Well, yes, there were three accused who were arrested by the Gujarat Anti-Terror Squad, and the custody was granted to them yesterday itself, where as soon as they reached over there within a time frame of less than 12 hours, there was a fight that broke out between these three terrorists and the other under trial prisoners, according to the jail superintendent. In fact, the fight that had broken out in this fight, the three accused have been injured badly and have been admitted to a hospital at this point in time. But yes, these three terrorists were actually planning to go ahead and carry out a massive chemical attack inside India itself. Remember, this entire nexus was exposed on the 9th of November itself, just a day before the Delhi terror attack, and the manner in which these people were planning to go ahead and carry out these terrorist attacks was actually very, very scary, because they were building chemicals that was even more dangerous than ricin, and they were actually trying to go ahead and carry out these attacks in several parts of India itself. So definitely this is the manner in which this incident has happened. In fact, the incident took place around 7 a.m. in the morning yesterday itself, and all these three accused terrorists have been injured in this fight. This fight that had broken out inside the prison itself, and at this point in time, they are under treatment.
All right, Anshul, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. We'll, of course, try and map this entire saga for our viewers as well. For now, though, we're slipping into a very short break. But don't go anywhere. All news and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned.
India India's young athletes inspire, but only one rising star can stand invincible. And the nominations for the Indian of the Year 2025 Rising Sports Star are Suruchi Bhogat, Kush Maini, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Pooja Singh, Divya Deshmukh. Who will be the Rising Sports Star of the Year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
And our big story, as the probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger and more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Now, investigations reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, also known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator accused of providing technical support, including drone modifications and attempts to build rocket-based bombs in Delhi. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Javed Ahmed Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al-Falah University, in a money laundering case. Now, this arrest follows evidence gathered during recent searches at locations connected to the terror module. Listen in.
जनरली सुसाइड बॉम्बिंग वही करता है जो हाईली रेडिकलाइज्ड होता है, और आप देखिए किस तरह से इंडोक्ट्रिनेटेड है. ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूट्स को बंद कर देना चाहिए, इनके लाइसेंस कैंसिल होने चाहिए. ये किस तरह की ये यूनिवर्सिटी कम है, और मुझे लगता है एक रेडिकल इंस्टीट्यूट ज़्यादा है. ये एक मदरसा टर्न्ड यूनिवर्सिटी लगती है, जहां इतने डॉक्टर हैं जो रेडिकलाइज्ड हैं.
मोदी जी की सरकार में आतंकवाद और आतंकियों के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है. उनको जड़ से खत्म किया जा रहा है, चाहे आतंकवाद हो चाहे नक्सलवाद हो. सबको मोदी सरकार में तबाह किया जा रहा है. इसलिए कोई भी गुनाहगार जो भी इस आतंकवादी घटना में संलिप्त है, वो अगर पाताल में भी छिपा है, जैसा हमारे माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने कहा है, तो उसको पाताल से भी खोद कर लाया जाएगा.
Shifting focus, in a big win for Indian agencies, United States has now deported Anmol Bishnoi, who is the younger brother of Lawrence Bishnoi. Now, Department of Homeland Security informed his son Zishan Siddiqui of the deportation via email. Now, Bishnoi is expected in India on November 19th, which is today. Anmol Bishnoi is wanted by India in connection with several violent crimes and faces at least 9 arrest warrants. He was arrested by American officials in November last year, although not on charges related to criminal activities in India. Days later, India began the extradition process. This was after a Maharashtra court issued a non-bailable warrant and global law enforcement agency Interpol issued a red corner notice. Now, sources have revealed to CNN News 18 that gangster Anmol is being deported along with a group of 200 illegal immigrants residing illegally in the US. Top intelligence sources have also indicated that his expulsion is linked to Trump-era immigration rules, under which any illegal immigrant is detained and processed for removal, which is immediately after their first asylum or immigration petition is rejected. Listen into this reaction.
What exactly did this email say? Who was it from, and when did you receive it?
So basically, my family has been in touch with the USA authorities since the past few months. We've registered ourselves in their victim notifications as the victim of the family. And they also gave us details in the past about Anmol Bishnoi, that he was in the jail of Iowa, detained by the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security. And today, per se, the mail said that the federal government has removed the offender Anmol Bishnoi from the United States of America, and as of 18th November 2025, he's no longer inside the United States of America, and he's been removed from America. So the question arises that where does he go from here? So exactly why I passed on the information to the officials, and I'm hoping that him being Indian, he's extradited back to India because he's no longer in the custody of the United States of America. So it's very essential that we bring him down to India, especially to Mumbai, interrogate him and ask him who exactly, asked him, since he's named in the murder of my father, who is the mastermind and who's asked him to do so.
Has anybody from the government, the agencies, or even the state government got in touch with you after this story became public?
No. So basically, I've just been notified by the USA authorities. And after I got the mail, I spoke to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawarji. I've also asked him to speak to the Honorable CM. I've also, spoken to the officials and the Honorable CM. And I'm hoping that, swift action is taken, because now the USA is clearly officially telling me that they do not have him in custody and they've removed him from the USA. So now I think it should be easier for the Indian government to act swiftly and bring him down and actually interrogate him. And
how hopeful are you that he will be brought to India, brought to Mumbai?
All right, welcome back. Here's what we're getting for you at this hour. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has now accused the BJP government at the centre of denying metro rail projects for Madurai and Coimbatore on flimsy grounds. In a post on X, he said the Union BJP government has denied metro rail for Temple City Madurai and for South India's Manchester, Coimbatore on flimsy grounds. A government exists to serve the people without bias, yet the Union BJP treats Tamil Nadu's democratic choice as a reason to take revenge. Now, this is what he's saying, that this is entirely a plot to take revenge. Now, Purnima Murli is joining us live for more on this as well. This is what Stalin's opposition rule states are being deprived charge. This is what he's saying, that these were all on flimsy grounds, that these metro rail projects were dismissed. Purnima, what can you tell us? What are we really looking at here?
Well, this tweet comes at a time when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in Coimbatore at around 1:30 p.m. is when Prime Minister is scheduled to arrive in Coimbatore, and the timing of this tweet is just hours before that. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister accuses the central government of denying metro rail projects and says that tier 2 cities like Madurai and Coimbatore need metro, and the union government is trying to stall the metro projects for tier 2 cities, but this will not stop the state government from ensuring that these projects be given to Madurai and Coimbatore. So interestingly, war of words between the state government and the central government is escalating when Prime Minister is all set to arrive here. The BJP is also trying to make inroads in Tamil Nadu when the state goes to polls next year. So we'll now have to see how the BJP reacts to this and what Prime Minister has to say to the voters of Tamil Nadu during his Coimbatore visit.
All right, Purnima, interesting timing. Of course, we'll continue to track what happens on that front as well. Thank you so much for joining us with the updates on this. All right, more news coming in. Bangladesh NSA has reached India at the first visit of Bangladeshi official after Sheikh Hasina's verdict. Bangladesh's National Security Advisor Khalilur Rahman has reached India. He is meeting with NSA Ajit Doval and is set to attend Colombo security dialogue as well. As you know, all of this is happening in the backdrop of that ICT ruling on Sheikh Hasina, a death sentence that she's looking at right now. For more on this, we're now being joined by Siddhant Mishra live on this for more information. Now, the NSA has reached Bangladesh. Do you think this outreach, the timing of this outreach, of course, we have to talk about that. What do you think this is?
Well, look, since the very beginning, both governments have been engaging at the official level. In fact, last year in December, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri visited Dhaka for Foreign Office consultations with his Bangladeshi counterpart. In fact, in the month of February, the Energy Minister of the interim government visited India. This is perhaps for the third time that high-level visit is taking place between the two countries. The NSA of Bangladesh, who is close to Mohammad Yunus, is in India. In fact, he has reached India today. He will be participating in Colombo Security Dialogue. Perhaps he will also hold talks with NSA Doval. Now, this visit is happening 2 days after Sheikh Hasina was convicted by International Crimes Tribunal in Bangladesh. In fact, Bangladesh has sought Sheikh Hasina's extradition from India. This request is pending with the Indian government since January. After the verdict, again a fresh request has been made. A statement was issued by the Foreign Ministry of Bangladesh. Perhaps it would really be interesting to see whether at the security levels meet between the two countries, is Bangladesh going to raise this issue of Sheikh Hasina's extradition, or this particular issue will only be raised at the Foreign Office levels.
All right, Siddhan, thank you so much for getting us the latest on this. Now, CNN News 18 also spoke exclusively with Sheikh Hasina's son, Sajid Wazid. He calls her conviction a political coup, slams Bangladesh's unelected government. Listen to this.
Why is it that you believe that this particular process of trying your mother for alleged war crimes is ultra-virus of law?
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, I mean, it is ultra-virus in so many ways. First of all, the regime itself is unelected, unconstitutional, undemocratic. So they have the regime has no legal basis. Then, in order to try her under this tribunal, because this tribunal was set up in 1973 to try the war criminals from our War of Independence. That was its entire scope. In order to try her here, they had to amend the laws and allow the trial in this tribunal so that it could be expedited. However, laws can only be amended by parliament, and there is no parliament. So that the legal basis for trying her at this tribunal itself is illegal. Then they would not let her appoint her own lawyers. Our lawyers were not allowed to even go to the courts. The courts appointed their own lawyers. The judges at this court, 17 judges were terminated right before this trial, and new judges were appointed, some who had no experience as being a judge and who were completely politically biased. So the outcome was preordained. We all knew what the verdict was going to be, and the entire trial was finished in 140 days, which is unprecedented.
So some victims and families of the student uprising have called this a moment of justice. But many also say the tribunal established by your mother's government raises questions of fairness. Do you support some form of or do you respond to calls for independent international investigations into the 2024 crackdown?
Of course, we have always welcomed that. Our government itself had appointed a judicial panel to investigate all killings. But here again, you have had trials only for the killings, deaths of students and protesters. But at the same time, hundreds of police officers were killed. And then continuing, even after our government stepped down, hundreds of our party activists were killed. And there have been, not only have there been no investigation or charges or trials for police killings and killings of our activists, this regime actually passed an ordinance, basically a law, that gave immunity to all protesters who killed police, who killed our activists. So that means there's only been justice for the killings of protesters, but justice has been forbidden for the police officers and for our party activists. That is not justice.
All right, and CNN News 18 also spoke exclusively with Shafiqul Alam, who serves as the press secretary of the chief advisor of the interim government of Bangladesh, Mohammad Yunus. He says Bangladesh will request India to extradite Sheikh Hasina, calling her a mass murderer. Listen to what he had to say.
International Crimes Tribunal convicted former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, and immediately after that, Bangladesh requested India to extradite Sheikh Hasina. And Bangladesh says in the statement that if India does not hand over Sheikh Hasina to the Bangladeshi authorities, it will be considered as an unfriendly gesture, unfriendly act. Talk to us about this position of Bangladesh. And perhaps, Bangladesh has also reminded India about 2013 treaty, which has been signed between the two countries. But that treaty also has a provision to refuse the extradition on political grounds, witch hunt, things like that. Talk to us about this position of Bangladesh, and have you been able to get any response from the Indian government so far?
I don't know. It's the foreign ministry can tell you about it. But what we have said is that obviously India is a good friend. We want India to extradite her because the crimes that she has committed, the crimes against humanity, has been well documented by international communities. It's not that we are saying it. It's the UN has made an independent probe into the massacres that Hasina has ordered in July and August, and it's very well documented. It's a 127-page book in which there were some paragraphs where the UN is saying, UN report is saying that she directly ordered use of lethal weapons on the young and children protesters. So it's quite obvious, and obviously we know the provisions in the extradition treaty, but that doesn't fall into this category. She is a mass murderer, she is a convicted criminal, and she should be sent back to the country for fair trial, and obviously there is an appeal process if she wants to appeal against the verdict.
Sir, Awami League leaders, in fact, Awami League in the statement also said that had this case happened in the international courts of justice, the verdict wouldn't have been same. They are calling it a kangaroo court. They are saying that there was no representation of Awami League Sheikh Hasina in the court, and in her absentia, this verdict was given.
There was nobody actually stopped them from hiring a lawyer for her. They didn't do it. And also, the crimes against...
She's saying that she was not allowed to hire the lawyers.
She could easily come back to this country. Her party activists are very much in Bangladesh. They can easily hire a lawyer for her, but they didn't do it. It's quite now she is making all sorts of accusations. But the fact is that the crimes against Hasina was quite it's just it happened in broad daylight. And I would say that this massacre in July and August is the most well documented massacre in the 21st century, in the world in the 21st century. There are hundreds of thousands of videos of this massacre, how it happened. I can tell you, an international rights group, it's a legal rights group, they did a 15 minutes video on a massacre outside a police station. And they collected some more than 6,000 video footages, mobile footages shot from close range to do this video, to find out how this massacre actually unfolded. It's not that the only there are hundreds of thousands of videos, and this is very much well documented. And that's why Professor Yunus, when he took over, he invited the United Nations Rights Office to come and independently investigate these massacres. And they found, I would request you to read the whole report and do your own judgment.
All right, across Delhi NCR, the air is heavy with toxic smog, burning eyes, scratchy throats, and the air quality indices that have crossed hazardous limits. The choking haze that surrounds us today is not just an environmental crisis, it's a public health emergency. Now, we put the spotlight on a silent yet serious health challenge that affects millions across the globe: chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. And on World COPD Day, Let's Clear the Air, a public awareness initiative by CIPLA and CNN News 18, is a forum wherein the nation's foremost experts have come together to help bust the myths and misconceptions around respiratory conditions and to encourage early diagnosis, self-care and proactive treatment, and the need for stronger public health policies. Listen to them.
Dr. Talwar, quickly, if you can come in on the early warning signs that people around patients must watch out for. So typically you would dismiss sometimes cough as a regular cough, or it's okay, I'm going to take a pill, I'm going to be okay, I'm going to do steam inhalation, I'll be fine. But what are those signs that you must not let go of and pick on?
I think over a period of time, the cough and the sputum is associated with some amount of breathlessness. But initially, this breathlessness only comes when you are doing some kind of an exertion. And in a sedentary life, I think climbing a flight of stairs itself is a big exertion for them. And it is mostly passed on as, you know, the body is not used to, you are not doing gymming, you are not doing exercises. So some amount is because of your aging, or it is related to your kind of life you are leading, you know, which is like a sedentary life, basically. So these symptoms of cough and sputum and breathlessness, which either don't go away completely, or they come and go again, and to some level they sustain, should not be considered as acceptable. So not to accept that aging is responsible for it, not to accept that, it's my fitness which is responsible for it, but think about beyond that, and especially if you have those risk factors which Randeep has said, if they are around you, then you are definitely the one which should get this earlier looked into rather than getting it delayed.
All right, and with that, we're going to call it a wrap on this edition of the News Bulletin. News and updates, however, will continue on the other side on CNN News 18. Do stay tuned.
From performance to top honors, only one champion emerges as the true invincible icon. And the nominations for the Indian of the Year 2025 in sports are D. Gukesh, Shubman Gill, Avinash Sable, Smriti Mandhana, Manpreet Singh. Who will be the sports person of the year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
And our big story, as the probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger and more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Now, investigations reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, also known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator accused of providing technical support, including drone modifications and attempts to build rocket-based bombs in Delhi. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Javed Ahmed Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al-Falah University, in a money laundering case. Now, this arrest follows evidence gathered during recent searches at locations connected to the terror module. Listen in.
जनरली सुसाइड बॉम्बिंग वही करता है जो हाईली रेडिकलाइज्ड होता है और आप देखिए किस तरह से इंडोक्ट्रिनेटेड है। ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूट्स को बंद कर देना चाहिए, इनके लाइसेंस कैंसिल होने चाहिए। ये किस तरह की ये यूनिवर्सिटी कम है और मुझे लगता है एक रेडिकल इंस्टीट्यूट ज़्यादा है। ये एक मदरसा टर्न्ड यूनिवर्सिटी लगती है जहाँ इतने डॉक्टर हैं जो रेडिकलाइज्ड हैं।
मोदी जी की सरकार में आतंकवाद और आतंकियों के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। उनको जड़ से खत्म किया जा रहा है, चाहे आतंकवाद हो चाहे नक्सलवाद हो। सबको मोदी सरकार में तबाह किया जा रहा है। इसलिए कोई भी गुनाहगार जो भी इस आतंकवादी घटना में संलिप्त है, वो अगर पाताल में भी छिपा है, जैसा हमारे माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने कहा है, तो उसको पाताल से भी खोद कर लाया जाएगा।
Shifting focus, in a big win for Indian agencies, United States has now deported Anmol Bishnoi, who is the younger brother of Lawrence Bishnoi. Now, Department of Homeland Security informed his son Zishan Siddiqui of the deportation via email. Now, Bishnoi is expected in India on November 19th, which is today. Anmol Bishnoi is wanted by India in connection with several violent crimes and faces at least 9 arrest warrants. He was arrested by American officials in November last year, although not on charges related to criminal activities in India. Days later, India began the extradition process. This was after a Maharashtra court issued a non-bailable warrant and global law enforcement agency Interpol issued a red corner notice. Now, sources have revealed to CNN News 18 that gangster Anmol is being deported along with a group of 200 illegal immigrants residing illegally in the US. Top intelligence sources have also indicated that his expulsion is linked to Trump-era immigration rules, under which any illegal immigrant is detained and processed for removal, which is immediately after their first asylum or immigration petition is rejected. Listen into this reaction.
What exactly did this email say? Who was it from and when did you receive it?
So basically, my family has been in touch with the USA authorities since the past few months. We've registered ourselves in their victim notifications as the victim of the family. And they also gave us details in the past about Anmol Bishnoi, that he was in the jail of Iowa, detained by the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security. And today, per se, the mail said that the federal government has removed the offender Anmol Bishnoi from the United States of America. And as of 18th November 2025, he's no longer inside the United States of America and he's been removed from America. So the question arises that where does he go from here? So exactly why I passed on the information to the officials, and I'm hoping that him being Indian, he's extradited back to India because he's no longer in the custody of the United States of America. So it's very essential that we bring him down to India, especially to Mumbai, interrogate him and ask him who exactly, asked him, since he's named in the murder of my father, who is the mastermind and who's asked him to do so.
Has anybody from the government, the agencies, or even the state government got in touch with you after this story became public?
No. So basically, I've just been notified by the USA authorities. And after I got the mail, I spoke to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawarji. I've also asked him to speak to the Honorable CM. I've also, spoken to the officials and the Honorable CM. And I'm hoping that, swift action is taken because now...
Polycab, India's safe, happy connection.
Hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18. Here's a quick look at what we've lined up for you on the show at this hour. Delhi blast probe widens further. Al-Falah University founder Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui arrested by ED in money laundering case. Anmol Bishnoi, key accused in Baba Siddiqui and Siddhu Moosewala murder case, deported from the United States to land in India shortly. NDA readies for grand oath ceremony. Nitish to take oath as Bihar Chief Minister for the 10th time on the 20th of November in Prime Minister Modi's presence. Lalu Yadav's daughter, Rohini Acharya, challenges those who've accused her of donating a filthy kidney to her father to open debate. Sabarimala sees massive rush. Opposition blames left and temple board for mismanagement. US Senate unanimously passes bill to force the release of Epstein files pending Trump's assent. Now, in a major boost for Indian agencies, the United States has deported Anmol Bishnoi, younger brother of gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. The US Department of Homeland Security formally informed Zishan Siddiqui, son of Baba Siddiqui, about the deportation, saying that he'd been removed from the United States via an email. Anmol, wanted in India in multiple violent crime cases and facing at least 9 arrest warrants, is expected to arrive today. And sources have also told CNN News 18 that he's being deported as part of a larger group of around 200 illegal immigrants being removed under strict US immigration rules. So this is the latest that we are getting right now in the case pertaining to Anmol Bishnoi, who's now been deported from the United States. It's important to note here that this is a deportation. He's been removed from the United States. As you know, Donald Trump has been cracking down on illegal immigrants. He did seek asylum there. However, he's now being deported as part of a larger group of about 200 immigrants. For more on this, let's just go across to my colleague, Griha. Griha, it's over to you.
Thank you so much for that, Him. And let's, in fact, now talk about how this is a case where the accused is wanted in a high-profile case. This dates May 22nd. Let's take a look at the first one. The IDHU Moosewala murder case, that where Moosewala was shot. He was killed by hired gunmen in an ambush. The accused is also, in fact, he's accused of providing arms to the shooters. Remember, this was a shooting, a mass shooting of Siddhu Moosewala, and that had created a lot of furor in the entire country and globally as well. And he is responsible for providing that arms and ammunition to the shooters. Now, if we take a look at October 2024, and this is the Baba Siddiqui murder case, there is another involvement here where we are talking about how Baba Siddiqui was shot dead outside his very office in Bandra in Mumbai. And this is one other high-profile killing which has the name associated. And he's also, in fact, if we further take a look at the Baba Siddiqui murder case, he's named in the charge sheet by the Mumbai police. So these are the high-profile cases that he is involved in. Now he's finally being deported to India. He's also, by the way, accused of planning this attack on Baba Siddiqui. Remember, that took place last year in the month of October, giving that logistical support to the killers who were responsible in killing Baba Siddiqui, who was shot outside his office in Bandra. And he has also been named in the charge sheet by the Mumbai police. So all of this is something that we are talking about as the United States of America is now deported Anmol Bishnoi, the younger brother of Lawrence Bishnoi, and he is wanted in these high-profile cases. And that's why this is a big leap for the Indian agencies, as the deportation has now been, in fact, allowed by the United States. And this is something which will give that leeway to the Indian agencies to further try Anmol Bishnoi. Arunima and Siddhant are joining us on the broadcast. Arunima, coming to you first. The kind of cases that we just referred to, the high-profile cases, Anmol's involvement, and how eventually this will lead to Lawrence, all of this put together, how much of a leap this is? If we technically talk about the security agencies proceeding with these cases, what would you say to that?
So there are two aspects of this deportation. One, of course, is the significance of Anmol Bishnoi himself. NIA has charge sheeted him in an FIR that was filed in 2022. NIA has been probing the gangster terrorism link, and in that a lot of gangsters and their cronies have been named. Raids have been carried out in the national capital, in UP, in Rajasthan, in other parts of the country also. And it has been established how these gangsters were indulging in extortion, murder, and sometimes even collaborating with Khalistanis to carry out terror incidents here in the country. So in that specific investigation, Anmol Bishnoi's coming to India and NIA getting his custody is significant. But there's another aspect to it as well. All these gangsters who are operating from Indian soil, either sitting in Canada or sitting in United States of America, the message is for them also that you will not get away simply because you're not in India. Ultimately, the long arm of the law will catch up with you. Lawrence Bishnoi is in custody, and now his brother Anmol is being brought in as well. The third big name is that of Goldie Brar. So all those who are sitting outside, I think India is now collaborating with the United States administration and the Canadian administration to give this larger message. Anmol Bishnoi was detained by the American authorities because of his immigration status. He travelled on a fake passport. It was highlighted by the Indian authorities, and it was not an extradition battle that India fought. Simply on grounds of how forged documents were used by Anmol Bishnoi, his deportation was pursued, and now with 200 others, he's scheduled to land at Delhi airport, and soon after NIA will take custody.
Right. Siddhant, like Arunima has been mentioning, certain documents that the Indian government was privy to, and that helped in the extradition process of Anmol Bishnoi, and in fact smoothened the entire dealing when it is about getting him back from the United States to the country. What happens next?
Well, there has been more than 2,700 illegal immigrants deported to India this year since February. In fact, this is also another batch which will arrive in India by 12 noon. This is what we've been told. Now, it consists of 200 illegal immigrants. Out of these 200 people, 2 are people with criminal background, criminal antecedents, and one is Lawrence Bishnoi's younger brother, Anmol Bishnoi. Now, there are 18 ongoing cases against Anmol Bishnoi. There has been a red corner notice also against him. In fact, Mumbai police has also been pursuing this case very aggressively with the US authorities through official channels. In fact, in the month of September, if I'm not mistaken, he was detained by the US authorities in Louisiana because of his immigration status. He left India on a fake passport via Nepal, Kenya, Dubai. He managed to reach United States, and perhaps when Indian government informed the government of United States about the presence of Anmol Bishnoi in the United States, since there is already a drive which is going on in the United States to detain illegal immigrants and send them back to their native country. So under that drive only, Anmol Bishnoi was detained by authorities in September in Louisiana, and now he is being deported. We've been told that the NIA is going to take custody of Anmol Bishnoi at the airport on his arrival. He could be brought to the NIA headquarters, where I'm reporting from, or he could directly be taken to the court, and perhaps in future, Mumbai police will definitely be trying to interrogate Anmol Bishnoi in Baba Siddiqui's murder case, and also the firing on Salman Khan's residence.
Absolutely. Very many of these high-profile cases that Anmol Bishnoi has been involved in. Siddhant and Arunima, thank you so much for joining us with all the latest. Remember that deportation has been made by the United States of America. India was wanting Anmol Siddiqui back in the country, so that really smoothens that entire process and facilitates further investigation and charges, framing of charges against Anmol Bishnoi. Now, CNN News 18's Zakir Jacob has spoken with Baba Siddiqui's son Zishan on what the deportation could mean for India and particularly for the Baba Siddiqui murder case. Let's take a look at that conversation.
What exactly did this email say? Who was it from, and when did you receive it?
So basically, my family has been in touch with the USA authorities since the past few months. We've registered ourselves in their victim notifications as the victim of the family. And they also gave us details in the past about Anmol Bishnoi, that he was in the jail of Iowa, detained by the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security. And today, per se, the Mail said that the federal government has removed the offender Anmol Bishnoi from the United States of America. And as of 18th November 2025, he's no longer inside the United States of America, and he's been removed from America. So the question arises that where does he go from here? So exactly why I passed on the information to the officials, and I'm hoping that him being Indian, he's extradited back to India because he's no longer in the custody of the United States of America. So it's very essential that we bring him down to India, especially to Mumbai, interrogate him and ask him who exactly, asked him, since he's named in the murder of my father, who is the mastermind and who's asked him to do so.
Has anybody from the government, the agencies, or even the state government got in touch with you after this story became public?
No. So basically, I've just been notified by the USA authorities. And after I got the mail, I spoke to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawarji. I've also asked him to speak to the Honorable CM. I've also, spoken to the officials and the Honorable CM. And I'm hoping that, swift action is taken, because now the USA is clearly officially telling me that they do not have him in custody and they've removed him from the USA. So now I think it should be easier for the Indian government to act swiftly and bring him down and actually interrogate him. And
how hopeful are you that he will be brought to India, brought to Mumbai specifically, and made to stand trial in the murder of your father?
I mean, as a son, I'm always hopeful. I have faith in the judiciary system of my country, but I would appreciate if I got more updates from our government as well. I have gotten updates from the USA, but I haven't been, getting any updates from here. But I'm hopeful. There's nothing else that matters more than getting justice for my father's murder, and I don't care about anything else but Anmol Bishnoi coming down here and him being interrogated, and actually coming to know who's the mastermind behind this, because Anmol Bishnoi had nothing to do with my father. So obviously he's done this on the behest of someone. And now that we're getting our hands on Anmol Bishnoi, it's a good way of actually coming to know who exactly did this.
Did your father at any point of time ever mention Anmol Bishnoi or Lawrence Bishnoi or anybody in the Bishnoi clan or gang?
Never. There was never an instance where my father mentioned the Bishnois or any of them, and nor did he have anything to do with them, nor did he ever have a conversation with them. So exactly why it was so surprising for the family when Anmol Bishnoi was named. But I'm sure the Mumbai police must have done its due diligence before naming him. And if they have named him, then there must be someone who's told him or asked him to do though. It sounds like a contract killing. So that would only come to light when Anmol Bishnoi is brought down and he opens his mouth on who exactly asked him to do so.
Did he mention any kind of threat to his life in the days leading up to his murder last year?
See, there was no threat per se, but there was obviously a lot of pressure from. There were instances where I feel I've always mentioned in the past also that there were some builders SRA builders who were not very happy and were putting all sorts of pressure. So I have named them in my charge sheet, but I think now that we're talking about Anmol Bishnoi, I have named them in my statement per se. But now that we talk about Anmol Bishnoi, it's very important that Anmol Bishnoi is brought down and exactly asked on who asked him to do all of these things.
We're now getting some breaking news on the broadcast, and this concerns Shashi Tharoor. Remember, Shashi Tharoor has praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his latest address, and this is a day after that he did that. Congress seems to be irked. They say that they found nothing great in that speech. So a speech which had Shashi Tharoor, senior Congress leader, speaking in good words about the Prime Minister, about what he'd said, but Congress really speaking in another language. Obviously, they are not very happy about the stance that Tharoor has taken.
मुझे तो उस स्पीच में कोई ऐसी तारीफ की नज़र नहीं आ रही थी किस चीज़ के लिए तारीफ की जा सकती है। मुझे लगता है प्रधानमंत्री को बहुत सारी बातों का जवाब देना चाहिए। वो एक न्यूज़पेपर के इवेंट पे गए थे तो उनको बताना चाहिए कि उनको निष्पक्ष पत्रकारिता से क्या दिक्कत है? उनको तो वहाँ पर बोलना चाहिए था कि वो सच बोलने वालों और दिखाने वालों से क्यों इतना चिढ़ते हैं, उनके ऊपर एफआईआर क्यों कराते हैं। मुझे तो कोई तारीफ का कारण नहीं नज़र आया, पता नहीं उनको कैसे नज़र आ गया। मुझे तारीफ का कोई कारण नहीं नज़र आया और मैं तो उस स्पीच की, मुझे तो बहुत ही निम्न स्तरीय स्पीच लगी। वहाँ पर भी जाकर वो कांग्रेस को कोस रहे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री सोते जागते उठते बैठते सिर्फ कांग्रेस के बारे में सोचते हैं, ये बड़ी अद्भुत बात है।
डॉक्टर थरूर ने केवल प्रशंसा की प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के एक भाषण की तो कांग्रेस उन पर आग बबूला हो पड़ी, टूट पड़ी। अभी कुछ दिन पहले एलके अडवाणी जी को हैप्पी बर्थडे बोला तो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने फतवा जारी कर दिया। अभी कुछ दिन पहले कांग्रेस पार्टी ने तब शशि थरूर जी पर गुस्सा होने का काम किया जब उन्होंने परिवारवाद की पॉलिटिक्स पर एक लेख लिखा था और उसमें बताया था कि कैसे गांधी परिवार परिवारवाद की पॉलिटिक्स की जननी है। अब सच को स्वीकारने के बदले उनके ऊपर आग बबूला हो गए। जब भी कोई राष्ट्र हित की बात करता है, कोई पार्टी के हित की बात करता है, परिवार के हित की नहीं करता और परिवार हित के ऊपर राष्ट्र हित को रखता है या राष्ट्रीय जो है एकता के विषयों को रखता है, तो कांग्रेस पार्टी ऐसे व्यक्ति को गालियां देना शुरू कर देती है और अपनी असहिष्णुता दिखाती है।
And joining us on the broadcast now is my colleague Pallavi Ghosh. Pallavi, Congress maintaining that stance that they are not very happy about anything that Tharoor goes on to say in praise of any member of the Bharatiya Janata Party, let alone the Prime Minister in this case.
Absolutely. See, the problem which the Congress Party is having with this latest post by Shashi Tharoor and his praise of the Prime Minister is the fact that at that event where the PM was, it was at the Ramnath Goenka lecture series. Over there, the Prime Minister had actually spoken about the stability in the country, but it also made a full-on attack on the Congress Party. And Shashi Tharoor was sitting in the front row. That is what Tharoor was talking about in his post, that, I'm happy that I got an opportunity to be there, present there when the PM was speaking, despite the fact I was not keeping too well. That is what Supriya Shrinay, officially speaking on behalf of the Congress, is saying, that first of all, why should he have been there in the first place? Frankly speaking, Riya, there were many other Congress leaders who were also invited, but none of them turned up because that's the political line that they have taken. The second is that the Congress doesn't know what to do with Shashi Tharoor. See, on one hand, there are by-polls coming up in Thiruvananthapuram. There are also elections coming up in Kerala. That's the reason why the Congress doesn't want to rock the boat.
Right, absolutely. And Pallavi, we were just playing out that reaction of Supriya Shrinay, and she says she did not find anything appealing in that particular speech. She also goes on to put in her two bits on freedom of press, considering it was a journalistic event, the Prime Minister not weighing in on that aspect, calling that speech substandard. So that is the line of attack the Congress is choosing to take when it is about this. But about that entire Shashi Tharoor question, why are they not coming out with an official line? Because Shashi Tharoor seems to be an anomaly. It doesn't seem to agree with very many of the statements or possibly the line that the Congress party takes. What are they going to do with him?
Well, that's very difficult for the Congress party to figure out, which is why nothing much has been done about Shashi Tharoor. And I was just talking recently also, we saw that on the Advani issue, Pawan Khera had come out with a statement and they had completely rejected what Shashi Tharoor had said. And it's not the first time, unlikely to be the last time. See, the two sides clearly have a miscommunication. Shashi Tharoor's point is that the Congress never involves me in decision-making. Even for Kerala elections, I'm not involved. I'm not involved in the campaigns. And the party needlessly has kept me out. On the other hand, as far as the Congress is concerned, they feel that, Shashi Tharoor also has been given multiple opportunities by the party. He was made a minister. He contested the elections. We never had a problem with him. But why does he make statements when he knows very well that this is something which is going to help the BJP? It's a breakdown of communication. It's a complete sense of mistrust between the two sides.
Right, Pallavi, thank you so much for that perspective and breaking down that information. Shashi Tharoor praised the Prime Minister. Congress not too happy about this development. Now we are shifting our focus. After NDA's landslide victory in the Bihar Assembly elections, Nitish Kumar is now set to be sworn in as the Chief Minister for a 10th time in the state. Preparations are already underway for the oath-taking ceremony of the new NDA government in Bihar. The newly elected NDA legislators will be meeting in Patna today to choose their leader. The formula for forming the next Bihar government has reportedly been agreed upon among the alliance partners. Ministerial berths are being allocated on a ratio of roughly 1 minister for every 5 or 6 MLAs. So this is what we have managed to ascertain for our viewers, and before that birth allocation really is officially announced, here's what we are learning on which way is this headed. So if we take a look at this entire formula of 6 seats per birth, so 1 birth per 6 seats, we are looking at BJP, which might be getting 15 to 16. If we take a look at JDU, of course, the chief ministerial post is with Nitish Kumar. 14 seats is 14 births is what we are looking at for JDU. LJP, one of the key alliance partners here, Chirag Paswan, possibly the deputy CM face. 3 to 4 is what will fall in LJP's kitty, and 1 each for HAM and RLM. So this is what we are learning of as far as the seat allocation is concerned. This is as per NDA sources. They are sticking to that formula, and that's how we have deduced that this is what the number will really stand as. My colleague Payal Mehta is now joining us on the broadcast. Payal, we've just broke down the kind of numbers, party-wise demarcation as far as the alliance goes. BJP, of course, gets the lion's share of the seats, but so is JDU with the chief ministerial post in Nitish Kumar.
Well, of course, there is no problem of any adjustment as far as Nitish Kumar's party and BJP are really concerned. They are both just a few seats apart. But no doubt whatsoever, Griya, that BJP is the single largest party, and therefore they will be getting a lion's share of these seats, in terms of berths that are available. As far as the cabinet is really concerned, these are the same lines on which the BJP had distributed the tickets as far as the assembly seats were really concerned. There's no doubt whatsoever again that Nitish Kumar is going to be the chief ministerial face. Clearly, the JDU has also been demanding this position of the speaker. That is something which has to be discussed upon, whether the BJP gets the speaker or JDU gets the speaker, and who gets the home portfolio. That remains the key focus as well. But number-wise, speaking 3 to 4 ministries for Chirag Paswan's party, because he's got 19 MLAs with him. And the fact that Jiten Ram Manjhi and Upendra Kushwaha will also be adjusted. So it is pretty likely that Upendra Kushwaha's wife will be inducted in the cabinet, because that's the only sole berth that they're getting in from there as well. That is something which is being worked upon. The BJP has to now decide who they want to really give in their 13 to 14. Beg your pardon, JDU is supposed to get 13 to 14 ministerial berths and BJP around 16 as well. All these details are being worked out, but just as we speak, Keshav Prasad Maurya has reached the BJP office, and the legislative party meeting, as far as the BJP is concerned, that's going to begin in a short while from now. After which, at around, in some time from now, JDU will also be having its legislative party meeting, and then the overarching, NDA legislative party meeting takes place anywhere between 2 and 3:30 p.m. is what we are given to understand. And once that happens, Nitish Kumar goes to the Raj Bhavan, stakes claim to form government, seeks time from the governor for this oath taking, which is scheduled to take place tomorrow, where all leaders are expected to be present, and then the distribution will be arranged. So, between sometime tonight to tomorrow morning, you can have more detailed conversation in terms of certainty. Of course, Chirag Paswan has been pushing for a deputy CM position because he feels that he's the third largest chunk when it comes to the NDA alliance partners. We'll have to just wait and see if they're given into his demands, because many people really thought that he wouldn't get the 29 seats that he really got, but he managed to get those 29 seats, during the poll announcements.
So does that mean, Payal, that that will in fact give a lot of impetus to that bargaining chip that Chirag Paswan really has? But before you answer that question, we also have Arun Nanda, who's joining us on the broadcast. Arun, so much is spoken of when it is about the seat sharing arrangement within the alliance partners, and of course there is no qualms with all the alliance partners. They seem to have been mollycoddled into accepting what has been decided, and it is something that was seen, this formula is what we're talking about, was seen prior to when Bihar went into polls, because a lot of hectic parleys were seen in the national capital itself for hours on end.
Well, that's right. Even yesterday we saw that Sanjay Jha and Lalan Singh were in Delhi. They were in discussions with Home Minister Amit Shah and BJP Chief JP Nadda, and we're given to understand by the way of our sources that that cabinet berths formula has been finalized, because earlier, remember, 2 days back, all the alliance leaders, whether it is Chirag Paswan, Jiten Ram Manjhi or Upendra Kushwaha, they all were in Delhi. They met Home Minister Amit Shah. So largely we can say that the formula for the cabinet berths has been finalized, and today, as we know, it's a very important day. Of course, you will have BJP's legislative party meeting, and then of course the leader will be chosen in that, and then JDU will also sit, and then finally around 3 3:30 p.m. today, there will be NDA's legislative party meeting in which in all likelihood Nitish Kumar will be chosen as the chief ministerial candidate. And then, of course, you will see he'll be going to the governor and to stake the claim to form the government. Tomorrow, of course, is going to be the oath taking, where you will have the likes of Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, and various other NDA ruled states, chief ministers and deputy chief minister participating in that.
One question, will Chirag Paswan be the deputy chief ministerial face? All right, we seem to have lost that link with Arun. We go into a very short break. With that, news and updates continue on CNN News 18.
They reinvent the rules and inspire the next generation. But only one youth icon can stand invincible. And the nominations for the youth icon are Ananya Pandey, Rishabh Sharma, Ishan Khattar, Zakir Khan, Lieutenant Commander Rupa A and Lieutenant Commander Dilna K. Who will be the youth icon of the year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
And our big story, as the probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger and more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Now, investigations reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, also known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator accused of providing technical support, including drone modifications and attempts to build rocket-based bombs in Delhi. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Javed Ahmed Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case. Now, this arrest follows evidence gathered during recent searches at locations connected to the terror module. Listen in.
जनरली सुसाइड बॉम्बिंग वही करता है जो हाईली रेडिकलाइज्ड होता है, और आप देखिए किस तरह से इंडोक्ट्रिनेटेड है. ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूट्स को बंद कर देना चाहिए, इनके लाइसेंस कैंसिल होने चाहिए. ये किस तरह की ये यूनिवर्सिटी कम है, और मुझे लगता है एक रेडिकल इंस्टीट्यूट ज़्यादा है. ये एक मदरसा टर्न्ड यूनिवर्सिटी लगती है, जहां इतने डॉक्टर हैं जो रेडिकलाइज्ड हैं.
मोदी जी की सरकार में आतंकवाद और आतंकियों के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है. उनको जड़ से खत्म किया जा रहा है, चाहे आतंकवाद हो चाहे नक्सलवाद हो. सबको मोदी सरकार में तबाह किया जा रहा है.
All right, of course, on CNN News 18, we are tracking Anmol Bishnoi's return. He is the wanted gangster who will arrive at the IGI airport. He's expected to arrive at around 10 a.m. and from there, as we were speaking to Arnima earlier as well, expected to straight away be taken to court. We are tracking his return. We're tracking all sorts of movements that are going to be happening, transfers and interrogations that are to follow as well. For more on this, we have Anshul live with us. Anshul, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this is what we are hearing right now, that he's been removed from the United States. He's expected to arrive at IGI at around in about 45 minutes from now. What can you tell us?
Well, yes, Anmol Bishnoi, along with other illegal immigrants in the United States, have been deported from the United States, and it is expected that the flight will land over here in India at approximately 10 a.m. Then the immigration processes will happen, and by 11 a.m., it is expected that the NIA will actually go ahead and formally arrest him. Post that, he will be taken to a hospital where the initial medical checkup or the medical legal certificate would be made, and then eventually he will be produced in front of the Patiala House Court, where the NIA will seek further custody of Anmol Bishnoi, because remember, there are several cases that are being investigated against Anmol Bishnoi. One of the cases that is being investigated is by the NIA of the larger terror nexus that had come up, and how these gangsters who were operating from across the border were actually involved in carrying out several criminal activities out here, specifically in North India and also in parts of Mumbai. But there is definitely a competition between agencies at this point in time, because all of these agencies want to go ahead and interrogate Anmol Bishnoi, be it the Punjab police, be it the Delhi police, be it the Rajasthan police, or for that matter Mumbai police as well, whereas central agencies such as the NIA are all waiting hands on to just get access to Anmol Bishnoi, because he is one of the key links that needs to be interrogated before any sort of a complete investigation could happen. He has been involved in ordering the killing of Siddhu Moosewala. He has been involved in demanding ransom from various
बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा के संग त्योहार की उमंग।
Welcome back. We are now cutting across to these live visuals that are coming in from Andhra Pradesh's Puttaparthi. It has Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, participating in the centenary celebrations of Sri Satya Sai Baba. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi is currently in Andhra Pradesh. He is there in Puttaparthi celebrating Sri Satya Sai Baba. These are centenary celebrations of Sri Satya Sai Baba. He has in fact, Babu Naidu along with him. You can see the Chief Minister there along with the Prime Minister. My colleague Aneri Shah with all the details. And there you see the visuals of Babu Naidu with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Aneri?
Well, yeah, that's right. What we are seeing is that right now, along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, we also see Babu Naidu, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister, participating in the centenary birthday celebrations of Satya Sai Baba in Puttaparthi, that is in Andhra Pradesh. And also at the same time, we will be seeing, right now what we are seeing is that Babu Naidu, along with Prime Minister Modi and also other leaders like Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan and Nara Lokesh and other cabinet ministers are there in Puttaparthi, where these are the centenary birthday celebrations of Sri Satya Sai Baba, which is being done at a grand scale in Andhra Pradesh. And later on, we will be seeing after all of these programs, Prime Minister will leave from Andhra Pradesh, and later Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Babu Naidu, will also launch the distribution of funds to the farmers. That's one of the schemes which will be launched by Babu Naidu later in the day. And also at the same time, after this very program, Prime Minister landed in Andhra Pradesh early in the morning, and after this we will be seeing, as per the schedule which we have received, the itinerary where Chief Minister had welcomed Prime Minister Modi at Puttaparthi Airport, and then later both the leaders have offered prayers there at the Satya Sai Baba. And then we will be seeing that Chief Minister and Prime Minister Modi will reach the View Stadium and participate in all these birthday celebrations that have been organized in a big way by the Andhra Pradesh government.
Right, absolutely. And also, Aneri, what we see on the visuals right now, there are cows which have been decorated. There are certain certificates that we see the Prime Minister handing over to these representatives who have brought, possibly the farmers who have brought these cows to the venue. Anything that you can explain in that regard?
Well, see, right now these are the centenary celebrations that have been taking place, and what we are seeing are the visuals from the stadium, and where we will be where Prime Minister Modi along with the Chief Minister is taking part in the centenary celebrations. And the ritual, these are all the rituals which have been done by every year it is being done, and today being the centenary celebrations of Sri Satya Sai Baba, on this occasion Prime Minister will also commemorate a coin and a set of stamp honoring his life, teachings, and enduring the legacy of Sri Satya Sai Baba. And later he will also address the gathering there. And also what we are seeing, these are the visuals that have been coming in from the stadium, is what we are learning.
Well, absolutely. Visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He is, like Kaneri was mentioning, he's to release the commemorative coin honoring Satya Sai Baba. And there you can see him being accompanied by the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, also the Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan. And here the Prime Minister is seen meditating, and that ceremony is currently underway. Quite a grand affair. These are centenary celebrations of Sri Satya Sai Baba, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is he has headed to Andhra Pradesh for it. Aneri, the significance and the importance of Sri Satya Sai Baba, particularly in Andhra Pradesh, and the fact that this is 100 years that we are celebrating, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi there. In the middle of that entire ceremony, we have the Brahmins reciting the verses and the Prime Minister meditating right before the idols.
Well, yes, that's right. Prime Minister Modi first paid his offered his prayers to the Satya Sai Baba, and also he had handed over certain certificates to the cow and the people who brought these cows to this very place as a part of the centenary celebrations. And now what we are seeing is that Prime Minister Modi also is seen meditating there, at this very stadium. And well, this is not the first time where we are seeing celebrations being happening, but today being the centenary celebrations, it is being organized at a grand scale by the Andhra Pradesh government. And also what we see is that the Prime Minister who is in Puttaparthi, where this is also known as a holy shrine of Satya Sai Baba. And then later we will be seeing that Prime Minister will also release commemorate a coin and a set of stamps, as I mentioned earlier. But right now, as you see, Prime Minister Modi is seen meditating there and offering his prayers to Satya Sai Baba. So now definitely this comes as a very significant move, that too on the eve of the centenary birthday celebrations of Sri Satya Sai Baba, that is in Puttaparthi in Andhra Pradesh.
Right, offering his obeisance there before Sri Satya Sai Baba. There are verses that are being recited as we speak. Live visuals from Puttaparthi, where Prime Minister currently is. He's participating in the centenary celebrations of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. And like Kaneri was mentioning, he will be releasing a commemorative coin, a set of stamps honoring the life, the teachings and enduring legacy of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. The Prime Minister, Kaneri, we are told, is also scheduled to address a gathering during this program.
Well, yes, Prime Minister will also be addressing a gathering. That will be in a short while from now, after he releases the coin and after the commemoration of the coin and the stamps on the teachings and life of Satya Sai Baba and the legacy of Satya Sai Baba. The stamps and coins will be released by Prime Minister Modi, and along with him we will be seeing Chandrababu Naidu and Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan also, who will be there. And following this, we will be seeing that Prime Minister will be addressing a gathering there, and later Prime Minister will leave for Coimbatore. And this is a very significant move that is coming in, especially when we see that Andhra Pradesh government has organized the centenary celebrations of Satya Sai Baba at a very grand scale, today being the centenary birthday celebrations of Satya Sai Baba.
Right. He's also going to be traveling to Coimbatore later to inaugurate the South India Natural Farming Summit, we are told, Kaneri. What is part of the itinerary of the Prime Minister after he gets out of Puttaparthi today?
Well, earlier in the day, that is around 9 a.m., we saw Prime Minister Modi, who landed in Puttaparthi Airport, where he was welcomed by Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu and Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan, and now they are visiting the Satya Sai Baba auditorium there, and later there will be an address by the Prime Minister, where he will also be commemorating the coin and the stamp. And later, after he addresses the gathering, we will be seeing that the Prime Minister will travel to Coimbatore, where he will be inaugurating the South India National Farming Summit that will be around 1:30 p.m. and this comes on the the Coimbatore event comes on the occasion of where he will be releasing the 21st installment of PM Kisan amount that will to over 18,000 crores to benefit 9 crore farmers across the country. So a very big move Prime Minister Modi has been doing, and this is as a part of Prime Minister who is, this is a 3-day summit which is happening in Coimbatore, but Prime Minister is a part of the inaugural function today that will be happening around 1:30 today.
This outreach program for the farmers is a really grand one that is going to come out of Tamil Nadu. So from Andhra Pradesh, the Prime Minister is headed to Tamil Nadu. But today, it's a very, very significant day. These are 100 years of the birth of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. And these are the centenary celebrations, the visuals of which we are putting out before our viewers. First, you saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrive there along with the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu, and his deputy, Pawan Kalyan. And there you see him paying his obeisance to Shri Satya Sai Baba along with the prayers that are underway, the verses that were being recited, and the puja that was primarily underway. And there you see the Prime Minister thanking all the people associated with this particular the temple there. And the prayers are now complete, we are told, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi has paid his obeisance to Shri Satya Sai Baba. Neri, you were talking about the next set of meetings that the Prime Minister is going to be a part of. How soon can we expect that address first of the Prime Minister here while he is in Andhra Pradesh? Okay, we do see him on the stage, Aneri. So very, very shortly after the felicitation, he is going to be addressing that large gathering in Puttaparthi, and we see a huge crowd that has assembled to listen to the Prime Minister. The Chief Minister is standing along with the Prime Minister on the stage, a gathering that speaks volumes about the kind of crowd puller Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of the country, really is. So he is currently there. A lot of children also that we see on the screen, Aneri.
Well, that's right. Prime Minister Modi has arrived at the place where he will now, after he offered his prayers at the Satya Sai Baba stadium there, and he also was seen doing meditation where some of the priests were also, as you saw in the visuals, they were seen saying the Vedic chants were being performed by these priests, and after the Prime Minister Modi met them, they left from there, and now what we are seeing is that Prime Minister Modi is going to address the gathering where there are many children who are participating in this very event, and before he addresses this very gathering, we will be seeing Prime Minister Modi, who will be commemorating the coin and also a set of stamp which will be dedicated to the legacy and to the work, the life of Satya Sai Baba. And as you see, it's a huge gathering that has been organized by the Andhra Pradesh government. This is one of the big celebrations which is being done as a part of the centenary celebrations of Shri Satya Sai Baba in Puttaparthi in Andhra Pradesh, where you see on the stage, along with Prime Minister Modi, you see Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu and also the Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan, who are a part of this very event. And following which, after this, we will be seeing Prime Minister Modi leaving for Coimbatore. But yes, in a short while from now, we will be seeing Prime Minister Modi commemorating the coin and a stamp dedicated to the life of Shri Satya Sai Baba. Before that, we will also be seeing Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu and also Pawan Kalyan, who will be addressing the gathering. And right now, as you see in the visuals where Pawan Kalyan is there along with Prime Minister Modi and Chandrababu Naidu, and also many other leaders, including Andhra Pradesh IT Minister Nara Lokesh is also a part of this celebration.
Right, the Prime Minister is also visiting Andhra Pradesh after that bus tragedy really happened here. Do we know what all will the speech really be a part of? Because the Prime Minister, knowing him, he touches upon all of these incidences as well. We do know how he had expressed his condolences to all the people, particularly children who had lost their life in that incident. It was a big one that was coming out of Andhra Pradesh.
This is the first visit post the incident that had happened in Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh, where 19 people lost their life. But we'll have to see if Prime Minister Modi touches upon that such incidents on the eve of the centenary celebrations. But yes, Prime Minister usually talks about such incidents and pays his condolences. That on the day of the incident, also Prime Minister Modi had expressed his grief over this incident that had happened in Kurnool, and later the Prime Minister had also announced an ex gratia. But now, as you see, Prime Minister Modi, along with Chandrababu Naidu, and also Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan, is there at this very event which is taking place right now. And in a short while from now, we will be seeing Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister also inaugurating the coin and the stamp.
So the commemorative coin and the stamp that will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister. He's just visited the holy shrine and the Maha Samadhi of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba at Puttaparthi in Andhra Pradesh. Upon his arrival, he offered obeisance, he paid respects at at the Mahasamadhi of the Baba, and he later participated in the centenary celebrations of Sri Satya Sai Baba. We are mentioning about the commemorative coin, the set of stamps honoring the life of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba and his enduring legacy that will be released by the Prime Minister today. And very, very shortly after this hymn that is right now being sung at the gathering which has the Prime Minister. You also see Sachin Tendulkar there on the stage with the Prime Minister, and that is also a significant attendance, Saneri. More details about the Master Blaster there sitting next to the Prime Minister.
Well, yes, a lot of people have joined this centenary celebrations, and also at the same time, along with Prime Minister, we see Sachin Tendulkar, who is a part of this very event. Well, what will be his role? It all remains to be seen, because it was Sachin Tendulkar being a part of this very event is a huge, definitely a big invitation by the and also in a big way which Andhra Pradesh government has been planning, and that is the reason why we see many of the leaders and many celebrities who are a part of this. And right now, as you see in the visual, Sachin Tendulkar also a part of this very program. What will Sachin Tendulkar be talking about also remains to be seen.
Well, absolutely. Are we expecting an address from Tendulkar also, Aneri?
Most likely, yes. Post the address by Chandrababu Naidu and Deputy Chief Minister, Sachin Tendulkar might address the gathering there, and he will also be offering his tributes and prayers to Satya Sai Baba there at Puttaparthi, who, as you see in the visuals, Sachin Tendulkar sharing stage with Prime Minister Modi.
And there you see the Prime Minister is being facilitated by the Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, a shawl, token of appreciation that has been presented to the Prime Minister. And very, very shortly, and also that piece there that is being given to the Prime Minister as he's being felicitated there. And very, very shortly, we would expect the Prime Minister to be addressing that huge gathering. We were mentioning about Sachin Tendulkar's attendance, who you see on the stage along with the Prime Minister. We all know that he is a great follower of Sri Satya Sai Baba, and that explains his presence there at the centenary celebrations of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. He's currently also there in Puttaparthi along with the Prime Minister. And there you see that image of Sri Satya Sai Baba that is being presented to the Prime Minister, and that marks the 100 years of his birth and celebrating the legacy of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Prime Minister Narendra Modi specially arrived in Andhra Pradesh for the same, and very, very shortly he'll be addressing the gathering that you see on your screens of devotees from across the globe who have come to Puttaparthi for the centenary celebration. And it is only later, after this visit, the Prime Minister leaves for Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. We see a lot of high-profile attendees who are part of this grand celebration. namely, we did see Sachin Tendulkar, who is in that same rank and file along with the Prime Minister, sitting at the front of the stage with the Prime Minister. He has been an ardent follower of Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and that's why he too is present for the centenary celebrations. There's also the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, N. Chandrababu Naidu, the Governor, S. Abdul Nazir, also the Deputy Chief Minister, Pawan Kalyan. And we did see the HRD Minister there, Nara Lokesh, and several state and central ministers and other elected representatives attending this event. Now, we do know that the Prime Minister is currently in Puttaparthi, and that has resulted in a thick security cover because several other VVIPs along with the Prime Minister are currently there in Puttaparthi for the centenary celebrations. Prime Minister very shortly is going to be unveiling the commemorative coin and the stamps in the honor of the legacy of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Aneri?
My heart is filled. Well, that's right. In a short while from now, Prime Minister Modi will be commemorating the coin and also a stamp on the life, on the teachings of Sri Sathya Sai Baba on the eve of the centenary birthday celebrations of Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and this comes as a big celebrations that have been taking place in Andhra Pradesh, which is organized by the Andhra Pradesh government, and Prime Minister Modi being a part of this is definitely going to be a significant move. And as you see, it's a grand celebration where thousands of people have also gathered to hear Prime Minister Modi, and in a short while from now we will be seeing Prime Minister Modi also addressing the gathering there in Puttaparthi, and then later Prime Minister will leave from Andhra Pradesh, and then he will be heading to Coimbatore. But before that, earlier in the day, he was welcomed at the Puttaparthi airport by the Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan, and also
very shortly we are waiting for the address of the Prime Minister. But before we do that, here's a breaking piece of information that we have for our viewers. Let's cut into that. A committee headed by Joint Inspector General of Registration Rajendra Muthe has now submitted the report on the controversial 300 crore Pune land deal that is linked to a firm that is co-owned by Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar's son, Parth Pawar. Now, according to this report, Parth Pawar's name does not appear on any of the documents, is what we are learning. This is a committee that is being headed by the Joint Inspector General of Registration. He's Rajendra Muthe there, and he in fact has put out this report that Parth's name is not part of any of this documentation process. Remember, Ajit Pawar has been on the back foot because of the mention of Parth Pawar and the fact that his family, so to speak, has been associated with this 300 crore Pune land deal that was linked to the firm which is co-owned by Pawar's son, Parth Pawar. My colleague Yesha Kotak with all the details. Yesha, no mention of Parth Pawar's name in any of the documentation process. Is his firm's name part of the process, and what does this mean?
So, when we speak of the whole investigation, as far as the orders of the Chief Minister were concerned, is where this very committee was formed. Now, this committee, in fact, wherein it was joined IGR Rajendra Muthe, who headed the committee, has submitted the report to IGR Ravindra Binwara. This report has further been forwarded to Pune Divisional Commissioner Chandrakant Pulkunzwarkar. Now, as a part of the entire committee, they have in fact particularly mentioned that Parth Pawar's name does not come on record in the entire sale deal, and which is why he cannot be indicated in the probe. However, the report also speaks about all those indicated and directly involved in the deal, including suspended government officials and sub-registrar, that is Ravindra Taru. Now, of course, as a part of the whole deal, or the investigation that was conducted by this very team, they've gone ahead to access all the documents related to the company against whom the FIR was filed, and this was the same company that we saw was time and again named by the opposition leader as a company belonging to Parth Pawar. But giving the benefit of doubt here to the son of Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, that is Parth Pawar, the investigation has found that Parth Pawar's name has not appeared when the sale deed took place, and which is why he cannot be questioned in this very case. Yes.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Yesha. With that, we are shifting our focus to this next piece of breaking news that we are now getting on the broadcast. We're learning that after Umar Nabi's terror video that had surfaced yesterday, now Asaduddin Owaisi has made a big remark. He's gone on to say that such acts are against the law of the land. He's also, in fact, gone on to claim that suicide is haram in Islam and the killing of innocents is a grave sin. He also says that this is terrorism and nothing else. So, big statement that has been made by Asaduddin Owaisi talking about how such the acts are against the law of the land. Aneri, my colleague, continues to be with us on the broadcast. Aneri, right after a series of videos that have come out of Umar Nabi trying to possibly explain to his co-members of that entire terror module on how they should go ahead and involve themselves in the Fidain killing, this statement by Asaduddin Owaisi.
Well, definitely a big statement coming in from AIMIM chief and Hyderabad MP Asaduddin Owaisi, where this comes just days after we have been seeing series of videos and CCTV videos where the Delhi blast accused Umar Nabi, who has been seen in these CCTV videos. Well, now AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi has taken to social media where he has stated that this is misunderstood in many ways. And there's nothing, this is terrorism and nothing else, is what Asaduddin Owaisi has been stating. And now I'll just read out his whole statement, where he has stated that there is an undated video of Delhi blast accused Umar Nabi, justifying the suicide bombing as martyrdom, and that itself is misunderstood. Suicide in haram is haram in Islam, and the killing of innocents is a grave sin, is what Asaduddin Owaisi is seen stating, and such acts are also against the law of the land. A big statement coming in from AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi, and this is after a series of videos of Umar Nabi, who is accused of the Delhi blast which happened on the 10/11, where we see that now Asaduddin Owaisi is seen that this is a terrorism and nothing else.
Right, thank you so much for that, Aneri. We will keep an eye on this big story, series of videos that were released of Umar Nabi, the Fidain attacker, who was very much part of that vehicle that blew itself up very close to the Lal Killa. It was a very significant attack in the national capital on the 10th of November. Tracking all the details about that and more, but right now we go into a very short break.
They fight for a greener tomorrow. And now one is about to be crowned invincible. And the nominations for the Indian of the Year 2025 Climate Warriors are Garvita Gulhati, Aditya Mukherjee, Morning Star Khongthaw, Vidyut Mohan, Vinay Manchala. Who will be the Climate Warrior of the Year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, of course, on CNN News 18, we are tracking Anmol Bishnoi's return. He is the wanted gangster who will arrive at the IGI airport. He's expected to arrive at around 10 a.m. and from there, as we were speaking to Arnima earlier as well, expected to straight away be taken to court. We are tracking his return. We're tracking all sorts of movements that are going to be happening, transfers and interrogations that are to follow as well. For more on this, we have Anshul live with us. Anshul, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this is what we are hearing right now, that he's been removed from the United States. He's expected to arrive at IGI at around in about 45 minutes from now. What can you tell us?
Well, yes, Anmol Bishnoi, along with other illegal immigrants in the United States, have been deported from the United States, and it is expected that the flight will land over here in India at approximately 10 a.m. Then the immigration processes will happen, and by 11 a.m. it is expected that the NIA will actually go ahead and formally arrest him. Post that, he will be taken to a hospital where the initial medical checkup or the medical legal certificate would be made, and then eventually he will be produced in front of the Patiala House Court, where the NIA will seek further custody of Anmol Bishnoi, because remember, there are several cases that are being investigated against Anmol Bishnoi. One of the cases that is being investigated is by the NIA of the larger terror nexus that had come up, and how these gangsters who were operating from across the border were actually involved in carrying out several criminal activities out here, specifically in North India and also in parts of Mumbai. But there is definitely a competition between agencies at this point in time, because all of these agencies want to go ahead and interrogate Anmol Bishnoi, be it the Punjab police, be it the Delhi police, be it the Rajasthan police, or for that matter Mumbai police as well, whereas central agencies such as the NIA are all waiting hands on to just get access to Anmol Bishnoi, because he is one of the key links that needs to be interrogated before any sort of a complete investigation could happen. He has been involved in ordering the killing of Siddhu Moosewala. He has been involved in demanding ransom from various businessmen out here in the national capital. He has also been involved in the killing of Baba Siddiqui and the shooting that happened outside the residence of Salman Khan as well. So definitely there are several cases that are being investigated by multiple agencies, and as soon as Anmol Bishnoi will land over here, definitely there is going to be this race amongst agencies to get his custody and to interrogate him further. But definitely as good luck that he is being deported from the United States and he is being handed over back to India. Definitely a lot of investigations are going to be done, and definitely a lot of cases are going to be solved once Anmol Bishnoi lands over here in the national capital within the next few minutes.
Right. Arunima, Anshul has mentioned a few pertinent points here. Of course, we're going to
बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा के संग त्योहार की उमंग।
Hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Hem Kaur Suru, and here's what we've lined up for you on the show at this hour. Delhi blast probe widens further. Al-Falah University founder Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui arrested by ED in the money laundering case. Anmol Bishnoi, key accused in Baba Siddiqui and Siddhu Moosewala murder case, deported from the United States to land in India shortly. Prime Minister takes part in centenary celebrations of Satya Sai Baba in Andhra Pradesh's Puttaparthi, set to release coin and stamp to also commemorate this event. Congress upset with Shashi Tharoor after he hails Prime Minister Modi's speech, calls it a petty speech. NDA readies for grand oath ceremony. Nitish Kumar to take oath as Bihar Chief Minister for the 10th time on the 20th of November in Prime Minister Modi's presence. Big development in 300 crore Pune land scam case. Ajit Pawar's son Parth Pawar not named in the investigation report. Lalu Yadav's daughter Rohini Acharya challenges those who accused her of donating a filthy kidney to father to open debate. Sabarimala sees massive rush. Opposition blames the left and temple board for mismanagement. Ahead of the Prime Minister's visit, Chief Minister Stalin accuses the centre of denying metro rail to Coimbatore and Madurai, claiming opposition-ruled states are being deprived of vikas. All right, and a news that's just coming in, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat will be visiting Manipur tomorrow. He's likely to meet civil society members during his visit. he will also visit the RSS office in Imphal. For more on this, we're now being joined by Payal Mehta. Payal, thank you so much for joining us. What can you tell us of the significance of this visit?
Well, it's an extremely significant development given the fact that, right after 2024 elections, the way in which the Manipur situation has really panned out, the RSS chief himself had, spoken about this in the public, and he had in fact questioned as to why there was no attempt made to, put balm on the wounds of the people who had actually been affected in Manipur. So his visit comes in very significantly over here, although politically does not, the RSS does not want to get politically involved with the situation that exists in Manipur right now, which is currently under governor rule, and there is a lot of indication that has come that, probably they can be looking at, getting a government formed very soon as well. The indications have been very, very clear, but Mohan Bhagwat's meeting with the civil society members will be of great significance. His visit to the RSS headquarters there will also be of great significance. Having said that, right after Mr. Mohan Bhagwat, day after tomorrow, we are given to understand that the BJP National President, Mr. JP Nadda, will be visiting there. This comes in amongst a realm of speculation, like I've been saying, that people in Manipur have been assured that, government will be formed. The numbers are very much in place as well. You recently saw Sambit Patra and B.S. Santosh take a stock of the situation on ground in Manipur, and Mr. Nadda's going there also will be politically very, very significant.
Right.
This comes in because, a few weeks ago, MLAs from Manipur had come down to the national capital. They did meet Sambit Patra, who's the in charge, and multiple people, and they were told that some sort of a development can be expected in the state after the Bihar elections. So Manipur is currently waiting to see how the situation really pans out. So interesting developments in Manipur in the next couple of days.
Absolutely. Of course, we do know that he will be visiting the RSS office in Imphal as well. That being said, what else do we know about what's on the agenda for this visit?
Well, of course, he's likely to meet multiple people, likely to meet prominent citizens, from the state as well at the RSS headquarters. The RSS chief is unlikely to meet, political leadership, given the fact that he is not sought a meeting to happen with the political leadership unless, people want to go and meet him, because he's a very revered figure, and he's, of course, the RSS chief in that respect as well. And many people owe their allegiance to the RSS, as far as the political journey is concerned. But no political meeting as such has been lined up. He's likely to meet people with the civil society and likely to meet some prominent citizens in Manipur. That's been of great significance, because multiple people in the opposition have questioned as to why the government, the Prime Minister does not go to Manipur for a very long time. They question as to why multiple other top leaders of the party have not gone in, but here the RSS chief himself is going to Manipur tomorrow.
Right, all right. Thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. All right, and in a major boost for Indian agencies, the United States has deported Anmol Bishnoi, who is the younger brother of gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security formally informed Zishan Siddiqui, the son of Baba Siddiqui, about the deportation via an email. Anmol, as you know, wanted in India and multiple violent crime cases, faces at least 9 arrest warrants and is expected to arrive today, shortly, in fact. Sources tell CNN News 18 that he is being deported as part of a larger group of around 200 illegal immigrants. That's, of course, important to note as well. This is not an extradition, it's a deportation. So he is part of this larger group of about 200 illegal immigrants being removed under strict US immigration rules that we are seeing under Trump 2.0. Of course, he is, as I mentioned, wanted in many high-profile cases, and when interrogations and transfers do begin, we will be uncovering more details about it as well. Let's just take you through some of the high-profile cases that he is wanted in as well. First, beginning with May 2022, Siddhu Moosewala murder, shot and killed. He was shot and killed by hired gunmen in an ambush. Now, Anmol Bishnoi is accused of providing arms to these shooters, allegedly gave killers the logistical support that was required for this as well. This is a May 2022 case, Sidhu Moosewala murder. Then comes the October 2024 case, Baba Siddiqui murder, shot dead outside his office in Bandra. This too he is closely tied to. He was named in the charge sheet by the Mumbai police. So we are going to see a larger interstate coordination on this as well. He's accused of planning the attack on Baba Siddiqui. And as I mentioned earlier, it was the son of Baba Siddiqui, Zishan Siddiqui, who received that email from the United States informing him of Anmol Bishnoi's deportation. So this is a big focus for us today. We have been getting you all the details of all the high-profile cases that he's been involved in. More and more information is still coming. From what we do know, he was expected to land at the IGI airport around 10. There will be multiple immigration checks that will happen. He will go in for health checks, then post which he will be under NIA. And how things pan out going forward, that is going to be a major focus in the days ahead. Of course, he is wanted in multiple high-profile cases, and the agencies do have their work cut out for them. They will be mapping out the entire network, their finances, and all the details regarding all of these alleged murder cases as well. For more on this, we have with us Arnva. Thank you so much for joining us. We have been discussing all the developments in this Anmol Bishnoi case as well. What is going to happen in few hours from now, that's something that remains to be seen, and how this entire interrogation and transfer process is going to be carried out.
So his initial landing time, he is being deported along with 200 others in the same flight. So initially we were told that he's expected to land at around 10 a.m. But now it appears that his flight is delayed. The NIA team is already waiting to take him into custody. As soon as he lands and the immigration formalities are completed, NIA team will take him into custody, post which he will be produced in court after completing the formalities of a medical checkup. In the court, NIA is likely to seek custody because it has already named him as an accused in the charge sheet as far as the terror gangster network case is concerned. There are other agencies also who have named Anmol Bishnoi in various other crimes. Siddhu Moosewala murder case, for example. Also the Baba Siddiqui case, the firing outside Bollywood star Salman Khan's residence. So there are multiple state police forces also who want to question him. But I think NIA will coordinate that. They want to take him into custody first, probing that larger terror gangster network. They already have enough evidence against him, as has been mentioned in the charge sheet, and they're quite hopeful that they will be able to convince the court that there is a prima facie case made out of questioning Anmol Bishnoi in custody. He had travelled to the United States on a fake passport. That's the reason he's being deported by the immigration authorities there. So procurement of fake passport, cases of murder, cases of extortion, and also being part of a terror gangster network. All of these are charges against him, and he will be questioned with regards to all of these.
Right, Siddhan, let me just come to you just to expand on what Arnima said as well. He is wanted by multiple state forces as well, of course, the central agencies. What is the subsequent interrogation and transfer process going to look like? What are the challenges that remain ahead?
Well, that's right. In fact, he is one of India's most wanted. There is red corner notice issued against him. In fact, as Arunima pointed out, the three recent high-profile cases are one is the killing of Siddhu Moosewala, the firing at Bollywood superstar Salman Khan's residence, and the killing of NCP leader Baba Siddiqui in Mumbai. In all these three cases, Anmol Bishnoi is wanted. In fact, he has been charge-sheeted. There are direct evidence available with the investigating authorities about Anmol's direct involvement in the case. In fact, talking about Baba Siddiqui's case, then there is this alleged audio recording which is available with the police, which has not come in public domain. Perhaps Anmol Bishnoi directly instructing the shooters to go and kill Baba Siddiqui. So agencies have been asking for his deportation from a very long time. In fact, Mumbai police has been pursuing this case with the US government through official channels. In fact, a few months back, he was detained in Louisiana. And now we've been told that he is the part of this new batch which is set to arrive in India of the illegal immigrants. And immediately he'll be taken into custody by the NIA. Then definitely they'll be asking for his custody. And in fact, once NIA is done with the interrogation, perhaps the other state police forces will also be asking for Anmol Bishnoi's custody.
Absolutely. Well, Siddhan, thank you so much for bringing us all of those updates. Arunama, do stay on with us. Now, we are getting more information for our viewers as well. CNN News 18's Zakir Jacob also spoke with Baba Siddiqui's son on what this deportation could mean for the country. Listen to this.
What exactly did this email say? Who was it from and when did you receive it?
So basically, my family has been in touch with the USA authorities since the past few months. We've registered ourselves in their victim notifications as the victim of the family. And they also gave us details in the past about Anmol Bishnoi that he was in the jail of Iowa detained by the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security. And today, per se, the mail said that the federal government has removed the offender Anmol Bishnoi from the United States of America. And as of 18th November 2025, he's no longer inside the United States of America and he's been removed from America. So the question arises that where does he go from here? So exactly why I passed on the information to the officials, and I'm hoping that him being Indian, he's extradited back to India because he's no longer in the custody of the United States of America. So it's very essential that we bring him down to India, especially to Mumbai, interrogate him and ask him who exactly, asked him, since he's named in the murder of my father, who is the mastermind and who's asked him to do so.
Has anybody from the government, the agencies, or even the state government got in touch with you after this story became public?
No. So basically, I've just been notified by the USA authorities. And after I got the mail, I spoke to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawarji. I've also asked him to speak to the Honorable CM. I've also, spoken to the officials and the Honorable CM. And I'm hoping that, swift action is taken because now the USA is clearly officially telling me that they do not have him in custody and they've removed him from the USA. So now I think it should be easier for the Indian government to act swiftly and bring him down and actually interrogate him. And
how hopeful are you that he will be brought to India, brought to Mumbai specifically, and made to stand trial in the murder of your father?
I mean, as a son, I'm always hopeful. I have faith in the judiciary system of my country, but I would appreciate if I got more updates from our government as well. I have gotten updates from the USA, but I haven't been, getting any updates from here. But I'm hopeful. There's nothing else that matters more than getting justice for my father's murder, and I don't care about anything else but Anmol Bishnoi coming down here and him being interrogated, and I mean actually coming to know who's the mastermind behind this, because Anmol Bishnoi had nothing to do with my father. So obviously he's done this on the behest of someone. And now that we're getting our hands on Anmol Bishnoi, it's a good way of actually coming to know who exactly did this.
Did your father at any point of time ever mention Anmol Bishnoi or Lawrence Bishnoi or anybody in the Bishnoi clan or gang?
Never. There was never an instance where my father mentioned the Bishnois or any of them, and nor did he have anything to do with them, nor did he ever have a conversation with them. So exactly why it was so surprising for the family when Anmol Bishnoi was named. But I'm sure the Mumbai police must have done its due diligence before naming him. And if they have named him, then there must be someone who's told him or asked him to do though. It sounds like a contract killing. So that would only come to light when Anmol Bishnoi is brought down and he opens his mouth on who exactly asked him to do so.
Did he mention any kind of threat to his life in the days leading up to his murder last year?
See, there was no threat per se, but there was obviously a lot of pressure from. There were instances where I feel I've always mentioned in the past also that there were some builders who, SRA builders who, were not very happy and were putting all sorts of pressure. So I have named them in my charge sheet, but I think now that we're talking about Anmol Bishnoi, I have named them in my statement per se. But now that we talk about Anmol Bishnoi, it's very important that Anmol Bishnoi is brought down and exactly asked on who asked him to do all of these things.
All right, we're also now being joined by Anshul live for more on this. Anshul, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, tell us more.
Well, yes, Anmol Bishnoi has been deported from the United States of America, and within the next few minutes, it is expected that the flight will land out here at Terminal 3 of the Indira Gandhi International Airport. Right behind me is the gate from where it is expected that Anmol Bishnoi, along with the other 200 people who have been deported, will be landing over here within the next few minutes. You can see that already security has been deployed over here, but this is being seen as a big heads up or a big advantage for the Indian agencies at this point in time, because Anmol Bishnoi has been involved in a lot of crimes that has happened not only out here in the national capital but also the larger terror gangster nexus that was being investigated by the NIA. So as soon as he land over here, the NIA will be the first agency who will try to take him under their custody and then carry out the investigation that is happening regarding the larger terror gangster module that is being investigated by the NIA. Apart from the NIA, there are other agencies. There are other agencies such as the Mumbai Police, such as the Delhi Police and Punjab Police, all of them who are waiting to get access to Anmol Bishnoi so that their cases that are pending for a long time, that could actually be investigated and the exact results could be reached. Remember, Anmol Bishnoi has been accused of being involved in the killing of Siddhu Moosewala that happened in the village Moosa approximately 3 years ago. He has been involved in the larger terror gangster nexus. He has been involved over here in the national capital demanding sorts of protection money from various businessmen. He has also been involved in the killing of Baba Siddiqui and the shooting that happened outside Salman Khan's residence. So all these police agencies will be waiting for Anmol Bishnoi to arrive over here so that they could take him under their custody and then eventually carry forward with their interrogation and investigation.
Right, absolutely. The coordination when it comes to interrogation and the transfers, as of course you mentioned as well, he's wanted by different states as well in all of these high-profile cases that he's been accused under. What are the immediate next legal steps once he is in India and all of the formalities are done and through? What sort of charges have been brought on? If you could just, for our viewers, just take us through that process.
Well, I'll just try to explain the sequence of events. Anmol Bishnoi along with the other deportees will land over here. Their immigration processes will come to an end. Remember, out of this batch of 200 illegal immigrants that had reached the United States, 3 have criminal records. 2 of them have criminal records in Punjab and the third person is Anmol Bishnoi. So as soon as these illegal immigrants of America will land over here, they will actually be taken into custody. The 3 people will be taken into custody. That is Anmol Bishnoi and the other two criminals who are involved in criminal activities in Punjab. So as initially over here, it is expected that the NIA will arrest him as soon as he will land over here. Then his medical tests will be done and then eventually he will be taken to Patiala House Court within the next few hours itself, where the NIA will go ahead and seek further police remand for Anmol Bishnoi so that he could be interrogated. Once that happens and once the interrogation of NIA comes to an end, then in all likelihood he will be sent to judicial custody, and it is at that point that agencies from police agencies from Punjab, Maharashtra and Delhi will try to go ahead and seek further custody of Anmol Bishnoi. So one by one, all these agencies will be taken will take him in their custody. He will have to travel across different parts of India because this was the entire nexus that was being operated over here.
Right.
Remember, Anmol Bishnoi was the number 2 after Lawrence Bishnoi, and he was the person who was operating this entire nexus while Lawrence Bishnoi was sitting in Sabarimala jail. So he coming back to India and the Indian agencies getting their hands on him is definitely a big advantage for the Indian agencies, as they will be able to find out the exact manner in which this nexus was operating, who were the people who were getting these commands, who were the people who were actually operating on ground. So all these answers, all these questions will be answered once Anmol Bishnoi reaches over here. The initial investigation will be done by the NIA, and then eventually all these police agencies will take him in their custody one by one.
All right, now do stay on with us now. Anshul, cousin of Anmol Bishnoi, also spoke to CNN News 18 Siddharth Mishra, and saying that he seeks a fair trial and says that we are worried for his security as a lot of gang wars are underway as well. These are the comments by a cousin of Anmol Bishnoi who spoke to CNN News 18 Siddharth Mishra.
किया जा रहा है यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स से, इस बारे में आप लोगों को कोई जानकारी है? क्या आप यूएस अथॉरिटीज़ ने आप लोगों को बताया या भारतीय अथॉरिटीज़ ने आप लोगों को बताया? आप संपर्क में हैं उनसे?
नहीं, कोई हमारे से कोई संपर्क नहीं। हमें तो आपके मीडिया से ही पता चला कि इस तरह जो उसको वार्तालाप रिपोर्ट कर रही है यूएस से। अच्छा, तो इससे पता चला, वैसे कोई हमें इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है।
तो आप लोग अनमोल से टच में थे जब वो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में थे, अमेरिका में थे?
नहीं, कोई टच में नहीं था। हमें तो मीडिया से पता चला कि वो जैसे कहते आज उस कंट्री में था, आज उस कंट्री में, अब जो है यूएसए चला गया है। हुआ है, तो वो तो मीडिया से हमें कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं थी, उसके बाद कोई संपर्क ही नहीं था परिवार का।
अच्छा, तो अब क्या परिवार में खुशी है, अनमोल भारत वापस आ रहे हैं?
नहीं, बात खुशी की नहीं है, बात आज जो हमारा जो मेन जो विषय है उसकी सुरक्षा की जो परिवार है वो बहुत चिंतित है।
अच्छा,
चिंतित इसलिए है कि जैसे यहाँ जो है गैंगवार हो रहे हैं, ये हो रहा वो हो रहा, तो लेकिन जब उसको लेके है तो सरकार को जो है उसकी सुरक्षा जो है यकीनी बनाया जाए, क्योंकि कानून अपना काम करेगा, उस पर हमारे परिवार की तरफ से कोई किंतु परंतु नहीं है। कानून अपना जांच एजेंसी अपना काम करे, लेकिन एक बात की मुझे अभी तक ये पता नहीं चला कि जैसे उसमें आया कि मीडिया में हमने देखा कि आज मैं 6-7 महीने पहले या उसका था उसको डिटेन कर लिया गया वहाँ यूएसए में। तो जब डिटेन कर लिया तो इंडिया में तो हम मान सकते हैं, भारत में तो मान सकते हैं कि यहाँ का तंत्र हम कह देते भ्रष्ट है, अंदर से कुछ भी हो सकता है, लेकिन वहाँ से कैसे हो सकता है ये सोचने वाला विषय है, इस पे भी थोड़ी एजेंसियों को गौर करनी चाहिए।
लेकिन आपके परिवार का कभी उनसे संपर्क रहा अनमोल से, जब से उन्होंने अपराध का ये रास्ता इख्तियार किया? क्या जो जिस तरह उनके नाम सामने आ रहे थे एक के बाद एक अपराध में, क्या कभी कोई संपर्क हुआ अनमोल बिश्नोई से?
नहीं, जब उसको पहली दफा उसको मेन सजा तो लॉरेंस का छोटा भाई होने की मिली। हाँ, जब वो पहला जो एक उस पे FIR जो हुई थी अबोर इलाके के अंदर एक पंप के अंदर लड़ाई हुई थी। हाँ, और लड़ाई को उसको जो है पुलिस ने उसका रूप दे दिया कि यहाँ की हुई अनमोल उसके अंदर था, तो उसके ऊपर FIR लॉन्च कर दी। चलो FIR लॉन्च कर दी, फिर उसकी जमानत करा ली परिवार ने।
All right, Siddhant, we have Siddhant live with us now. Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, you've spoken to the cousin of Anmol Bishnoi as well. He's mentioned these wider gang wars that Anmol may be at risk of as well. He's asking for a fair trial. What do you have to tell us?
Well, that's right. We did manage to speak to the cousin brother of Anmol Bishnoi, Mr. Ramesh Bishnoi, and in fact he said that he got to know about this deportation only through media. Anmol has not been in touch with his family from a very long time. In fact, now he says that he expects Indian government to give him a free and fair trial. In fact, he's also concerned about the security of Anmol Bishnoi in India, given the kind of gang wars we have seen in last few years, even inside the jail. Perhaps that is concerning for the family at this point in time.
Absolutely. Well, Siddhant, of course, we'll continue to track all developments there closely. He is expected to land in Delhi at any moment now, shortly. With that, we're going to slip into a short break for now, but don't go anywhere. We will be tracking all of these developments on CNN News 18. Do stay tuned.
From leading industries to building empires, only one titan will emerge as the invincible icon. And the nominations in business are Falguni Nayar, Albinder Dhensa, Rajesh Jejurikar, Roshni Nadar Malhotra, Baba Kalyani. Who will be the business person of the year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18 Indian of the Year 2025. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Alright, of course, on CNN News 18, we are tracking Anmol Bishnoi's return. He is the wanted gangster who will arrive at the IGI airport. He's expected to arrive at around 10 a.m. and from there, as we were speaking to Anima earlier as well, expected to straight away be taken to court. We are tracking his return. We're tracking all sorts of movements that are going to be happening, transfers and interrogations that are to follow as well. For more on this, we have Anshul live with us. Anshul, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this is what we are hearing right now, that he's been removed from the United States. He's expected to arrive at IGI at in about 45 minutes from now. What can you tell us?
Well, yes, Anmol Bishnoi, along with other illegal immigrants in the United States, have been deported from the United States, and it is expected that the flight will land over here in India at approximately 10 a.m. Then the immigration processes will happen, and by 11 a.m. it is expected that the NIA will actually go ahead and formally arrest him. Post that, he will be taken to a hospital where the initial medical checkup or the medical legal certificate would be made, and then eventually he will be produced in front of the Patiala House Court, where the NIA will seek further custody of Anmol Bishnoi, because remember, there are several cases that are being investigated against Anmol Bishnoi. One of the cases that is being investigated is by the NIA of the larger terror nexus that had come up, and how these gangsters who were operating from across the border were actually involved in carrying out several criminal activities out here, specifically in North India and also in parts of Mumbai. But there is definitely a competition between agencies at this point in time, because all of these agencies want to go ahead and interrogate Anmol Bishnoi, be it the Punjab police, be it the Delhi police, be it the Rajasthan police, or for that matter Mumbai police as well, whereas central agencies such as the NIA are all waiting hands on to just get access to Anmol Bishnoi, because he is one of the key links that needs to be interrogated before any sort of a complete investigation could happen. He has been involved in ordering the killing of Siddhu Moosewala. He has been involved in demanding ransom from various businessmen out here in the national capital. He has also been involved in the killing of Baba Siddiqui and the shooting that happened outside the residence of Salman Khan as well. So definitely there are several cases that are being investigated by multiple agencies, and as soon as Anmol Bishnoi will land over here, definitely there is going to be this race amongst agencies to get his custody and to interrogate him further. But definitely as good luck that he is being deported from the United States and he is being handed over back to India. Definitely a lot of investigations are going to be done, and definitely a lot of cases are going to be solved once Anmol Bishnoi lands over here in the national capital within the next few minutes.
Right. Anshul has mentioned a few pertinent points here. Of course, we're going to talk about the interstate transfers and interrogations as well, but we are going to see a focus on specific cases, of course, Baba Siddiqui, Siddhu Moosewala, Salman Khan firing as well. However, there, of course, will be a concerted effort to map out this entire network and its finances as well.
So there is a gangsters FIR that NIA was probing in.
Bank of Baroda के संग त्योहार की उमंग।
Welcome back to CNN News 18. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Now, here is what we have lined up for you on the rest of the show. Now, across Delhi NCR, it's the air which is heavy with toxic smog, burning eyes, scratchy throats, and air quality indices that have crossed hazardous limits. The choking haze that surrounds us today, it's not just an environmental crisis, it's a public health emergency. On World COPD Day today, we put the spotlight on a silent yet very severe health challenge that affects millions across the globe, and that is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Let's clear the air, which is a public awareness initiative by CIPLA and CNN News 18. It is a forum wherein the nation's foremost experts have come together to help bust the myths and misconceptions around respiratory conditions, and to also encourage early diagnosis, self-care and proactive treatment, and the need for stronger public health policies. Listen to them.
Dr. Guleria, now let's get back to the drawing board a little. Let's address the elephant in the room, COPD. Tell us, what is it for those wondering still? What risks come with it? And what are those first signs that people must watch out for when they need to reach out to their doctor?
So as the name suggests, COPD means chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. That means you have a chronic disease which causes narrowing or obstruction to your airways, and it's a lung disease. So when you start talking of COPD, it means you have breathing difficulty, it is progressive over time, you have cough which becomes chronic, and you have breathlessness and a wheezing sound from your chest. So it's a disease which progresses over time, and as was said, it's a preventable disease, and that's why we're talking about it, because a number of factors lead to COPD, and what happens is that it causes narrowing of your airways, so you're not able to breathe properly. it damages the alveoli or the part of the lung which takes part in gas exchange, oxygen going from your air to the blood and carbon dioxide coming out. It damages that part of the sacs of the air, and therefore your oxygen starts coming down, less air can go into your lungs, and your carbon dioxide over a period of time is not able to get out of the lungs, of the body, and you start accumulating carbon dioxide. So you start having more carbon dioxide in the lung and less oxygen. Now, unfortunately, it's a preventable disease because the factors that cause COPD are initially they were smoking related, and that's why there was a lot of focus on smoking cessation. Now we're also seeing that because of very poor quality air, people who are breathing a poor quality air because of outdoor air pollution, also we're seeing a lot of COPD.
All right, and with that, we're going to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere, though. News and updates will continue on the other side on CNN News 18.
The entertainment world inspires us, but only one entertainer will be celebrated as an invincible icon. The nominees for the entertainment category are Lakshman Utekar, Rashmika Mandana, Mohanlal, Arjit Singh, Jaideep Ahlawat. Who will be crowned as the Entertainer of the Year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, of course, on CNN News 18, we are tracking Anmol Bishnoi's return. He is the wanted gangster who will arrive at the IGI airport. He's expected to arrive at around 10 a.m. and from there, as we were speaking to Anima earlier as well, expected to straight away be taken to court. We are tracking his return. We're tracking all sorts of movements that are going to be happening, transfers and interrogations that are to follow as well. For more on this, we have Anshul live with us. Anshul, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this is what we are hearing right now, that he's been removed from the United States. He's expected to arrive at IGI at around in about 45 minutes from now. What can you tell us?
Well, yes, Anmol Bishnoi, along with other illegal immigrants in the United States, have been deported from the United States, and it is expected that the flight will land over here in India at approximately 10 a.m. Then the immigration processes will happen, and by 11 a.m. it is expected that the NIA will actually go ahead and formally arrest him. Post that, he will be taken to a hospital where the initial medical checkup or the medical legal certificate would be made, and then eventually he will be produced in front of the Patiala House Court, where the NIA will seek further custody of Anmol Bishnoi, because remember, there are several cases that are being investigated against Anmol Bishnoi. One of the cases that is being investigated is by the NIA of the larger terror nexus that had come up, and how these gangsters who were operating from across the border were actually involved in carrying out several criminal activities out here, specifically in North India and also in parts of Mumbai. But there is definitely a competition between agencies at this point in time, because all of these agencies want to go ahead and interrogate Anmol Bishnoi, be it the Punjab police, be it the Delhi police, be it the Rajasthan police, or for that matter Mumbai police as well, whereas central agencies such as the NIA are all waiting hands on to just get access to Anmol Bishnoi, because he is one of the key links that needs to be interrogated before any sort of a complete investigation could happen. He has been involved in ordering the killing of Siddhu Moosewala. He has been involved in demanding ransom from various businessmen out here in the national capital. He has also been involved in the killing of Baba Siddiqui and the shooting that happened outside the residence of Salman Khan as well. So definitely there are several cases that are being investigated by multiple agencies, and as soon as Anmol Bishnoi will land over here, definitely there is going to be this race amongst agencies to get his custody and to interrogate him further. But definitely as good luck that he is being deported from the United States and he is being handed over back to India. Definitely a lot of investigations are going to be done, and definitely a lot of cases are going to be solved once Anmol Bishnoi lands over here in the national capital within the next few minutes.
Right. Arunima, Anshu has mentioned a few pertinent points here. Of course, we're going to talk about the interstate transfers and interrogations as well, but we are going to see a focus on specific cases, of course, Baba Siddiqui, Siddhu Moosewala, Salman Khan firing as well. However, there, of course, will be a concerted effort to map out this entire network and its finances as well.
So there is a gangsters FIR that NIA was probing, in which Anmol Bishnoi, Lawrence Bishnoi, all their other associates have been named. So the entire gangster terror network in Punjab has been investigated by the National Investigation Agency. The charge sheet has been filed in this case, which dates back to 2022. And Anmol Bishnoi's custody, once taken by NIA, will focus on this particular FIR, this particular investigation itself. If you go by the other big man who was brought into NIA's custody.
Bank of Baroda के संग त्योहार की उमंग।
Sai Ram, Namaskar. I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, respected ministers, dignitaries, elders, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, gurus, teachers, and all the wonderful artists and performers, the students who have enthralled us with their dances, all the musicians who have enthralled us with riveting performances, the singers, beautiful children of Bal Vikas, and students from all over. Welcome. Thank you for being here. On this historic and sacred occasion of the centenary celebrations of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba, my heart is filled with deep devotion and gratitude. Though a century may have passed since his divine birth, his presence, his principles, his teachings, guidance, and his compassion continue to reverberate in the hearts of millions worldwide. I extend a heartfelt thank you to you, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, for being with us here today and for honoring this special occasion. I'm looking forward to listening to your wise words, impactful and inspiring as always, to enthrall us this morning. Your presence here adds sanctity and inspiration to this centenary celebration and reminds us of Swami's message that true leadership is service, and service to man is service to God. I stand here today and in all humility and honesty can say that this divine message I have always held deeply close to my heart and put into practice in life. Once a Bal Vikas student, always a Bal Vikas student. Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba often spoke about the 5 Ds, 5 essential qualities needed for a meaningful, purposeful, and spiritually anchored life. Discipline. Discipline is the mark of a true human being. Dedication. Whatever you do, do it as an offering to God. Devotion. True devotion is the flow of love towards God. Determination. Once you have chosen the right path, never turn back. And discrimination as in the ability to choose between right and wrong, truth and untruth, the very heart of spiritual life. Swami once said, Education should not be for a living, but it is and should be for life. The Sri Satya Sai Baba education system is a shining example of this truth. From Bal Vikas programs to value-based schools, colleges, and even a free multidisciplinary university, serving thousands of students every year free of cost, without discrimination and rooted in values. Sri Satya Sai Baba also gifted India and the world an unparalleled healthcare model. His super speciality hospitals here in Puttaparthi, Whitefield, Kolkata, and in Navi Mumbai provide world-class treatment completely free of cost to lakhs of people, proving that the 5 C's he always spoke about, that is, compassion, charity, character, calmness, and contentment, not commerce, must drive caring for all humankind.
All right, that was Indian actor Acharya Rai, who was addressing the people at the Sri Satya Sai centenary celebrations there that we were just seeing in Puttaparthi as well. Acharya Rai speaking of all the contributions made and his education as well at the Sri Satya Sai centenary celebrations there that we just saw. Also now we're getting more information in a major anti-Maoist operation. Andhra Pradesh's elite Greyhounds forces neutralized 7 Maoists in an encounter inside a forest area near Jemvalasa village under Madvi police station limits in Alluri Sitaram district. This is the other big information that we are getting. You've seen India's concerted efforts to completely eradicate this red terror footprint from India. We saw the big development that came in yesterday as well. Hidma, the mastermind of this entire nexus, being neutralized, and now in a major anti-Maoist operation, Andhra Pradesh's elite Greyhounds forces have neutralized 7 more Maoists in an encounter inside a forest area near the Jemvalasa village in Alluri Sitarama district. For more on this, we're now being joined by Arunama. Thank you so much for joining us. Another huge development. What can you tell us?
Yes, so back-to-back 2 days, 2 major encounters. Yesterday, when Hidma and 5 others, along with Hidma's wife, were surrounded in this very district. There were also reports that Tek Shankar, he was the man in charge of the Andhra-Odisha border. All those Maoist operations that happened in that border area were under Tek Shankar. So yesterday also reports suggested that Tek Shankar was with Hidma, but he apparently escaped. The intelligence agencies, however, kept tracking him down, and the Andhra Pradesh unit of the Greyhound, based on the intelligence input generated, carried out another encounter this morning, early morning around 6 a.m. we are told. Tek Shankar Jyoti, who was earlier the security guard of the chief of CPI Maoist, who was Dambala Kesava Rao. He was, Dambala Kesava Rao's security guard is also one of those female Naxal commanders who has been gunned down. Total 3 women Naxal commanders amongst the 7 who have been killed today. There are also intense speculation in the name of Devuji. Devuji is the current chief of CPI Maoist, but Andhra Pradesh police is not confirming whether his whereabouts have also been established or not. It's an ongoing operation. They're constantly chasing the CPI Maoist leadership and the cadre there. So we could hear more in the next 24 hours.
Right, of course, we are waiting more information on this. Of course, some information related to Metru Jogarao as well. We will continue to track this very closely. Let's just go across to Sachin Tendulkar, who's also addressing the people at Puttaparthi participating in the centenary celebrations of Sri Satya Sai Baba. Listen to this.
Sai Ram. My warmest pranam to our beloved Baba, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, Honorable CM Naidu ji. This is indeed a very special occasion, and I want to welcome all of you here to celebrate centenary year of our beloved Baba. this place has brought so much comfort, purpose, and direction to millions of us. When I stand here, I am reminded of a number of ways Baba contributed in our lives in making us better human beings. I remember I was only 5 years old, and wherever I went, including my school, people around me would refer to me as वो जो छोटा बच्चा है ना जिसके बाल सत्य साई बाबा जैसे है, वो ही लड़का, वो बहुत शरारती लड़का था. मगर that was only because I had not had a haircut till the age of 5. मेरे बाल भी वैसे लंबे थे. I was too young to understand the enormity of Baba's contribution to humankind. I remember meeting him for the first time in the mid-90s. It was in Whitefield, and from there on, I had the honor of meeting him on a number of occasions. In fact, when I got to this place, I was sharing with the Honorable CM that, we played here in 1997, and the same thing was shared with our Honorable Prime Minister also, where I got to interact with Baba. Baba had this ability to be with you wherever in the mental space, wherever you were. And why I say this, because there were a number of questions going on in my head, whether should I be asking him or not, is it appropriate to ask? And without asking those questions, Baba had answered those questions. That was an unbelievable experience for me, because I was thinking, how did you know what was going on in my head? And he had already answered, blessed me, given me direction. The number of things which, when one spent time with Baba, we learned so many things. And out of those so many things, there's one thing that I would like to mention here, is Baba always said, don't judge people, understand them.
All right, and that was Sachin Tendulkar also speaking at the centenary celebrations there. And with that, we're going to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. We are getting this information right now, actually, that Nitish Kumar has been elected as the leader of the JDU Legislative Party and is now set to take oath as the Chief Minister tomorrow. That is the 20th of November. And this is the big breaking that is coming right now. Nitish Kumar elected as the leader of the JDU Legislative Party and is set to take oath as Chief Minister. This is the big development that is coming in at the moment. For the 10th time now, Nitish Kumar will be elected the Chief Minister, and this will happen, the oath-taking ceremony, which is scheduled for tomorrow and which is the 20th of November. We are getting more information on this as well. The oath-taking ceremony in Bihar is going to take place tomorrow. This is the big development that we're getting at the moment. Let me once again, for our viewers, let you know that Nitish Kumar elected as the leader of the JDU Legislative Party. Now, for more on this, we have with us Arundanta live. Thank you so much for joining us live. What can you tell us?
Well, that's right. Nitish Kumar has been chosen as the leader of the Legislative Party of the JDU. And as we speak, BJP's Legislative Party meeting is also underway. And they will also, of course, be choosing their leader. And then, of course, the big meeting, which is slated to take place at 3:30 p.m. today of the NDA, in which JDU's MLAs, BJP's HAM's, Ram Vilas Paswan, LJP, and Upendra Kushwaha, all of their MLAs will be present. And then the leader of the NDA will be chosen, as we are told that Nitish Kumar, of course, will be chosen in that meeting. And then, of course, in the evening, you will be seeing that Nitish Kumar, along with all the alliance leaders, will be going to Raj Bhavan meeting the governor. First, of course, he will put down his resignation from the 17th as outgoing chief minister, and the 17th assembly will be dissolved, and then of course he will be staking the claim to form the government. And we're given to understand that tomorrow around 11:30, Gandhi Maidan is completely decked up for the oath-taking ceremony, in which the likes of Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and all other chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of BJP-ruled states will be participating. So this time around, there will be a grand oath-taking ceremony at Gandhi Maidan. And also, of course, as far as the cabinet berths are concerned, we're given to understand that the discussions have completed on that. Yesterday, Sanjay Jha and Lalan Singh from the JDU were in Delhi. They met Home Minister Amit Shah and JP Nadda. We're given to understand that the distribution of the ministries have been decided. LJP, Ramvilas is likely to get 2 to 3 cabinet berths. HAM and Upendra Kushwaha's party, 1 each cabinet berth. And there will be, of course, equal distribution. That's what we are told, between the JDU and the BJP. So as we speak, BJP's legislative party meeting is underway. And also, of course, Nitish Kumar has been chosen by his party as the leader of JDU.
All right. Thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. Now, the Special Intensive Revision or SIR process is underway in West Bengal, but in the Matua-dominated areas, especially in Bongao, there is growing anxiety as well. Many of them are unsure whether their names will remain on the electoral rolls, whether their documents are sufficient or adequate, and whether the CAA will protect their voting rights. And to understand the situation on ground, CNN News 18 travelled to the cultural and religious center of the community. Listen to this.
This is the Thakur Bari's temple, and this is the place from where the religious preaching of Matua community is practiced. Now, who are the Matuas? The Matuas are the Hindu refugees who have over the decades have come over from Bangladesh. They have Aadhaar card, voter card. Now SIR has started. As per SIR rules, the voters should have linkage in 2002's voter roll. Now, a large section of Matuas, they don't have that linkage in the 2002 voters roll. That means their name is not there. But what the common Matuas think, how are they going on with the SIR operation? We have come here to find out that. SIR को लेके यहाँ का मूड क्या है?
इसे लेके सब तो होगा क्या नहीं होगा।
क्यों ऐसा क्यों सोच रहे हैं?
क्योंकि ये लोग का सब आपका बांग्लादेश से आने के बाद ये लोग का 2002 का डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं है।
ये किया नहीं, वो नहीं पता किस लिए नहीं किया। मेरा माताजी मेरा तो उम्र तब छोटा था, वो लोग तो उतना समझ में नहीं आता था।
This is another CA camp which is there in Thakur Bari itself. There are people, we will try to talk to them. जो लोग यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं वो क्या SIR को लेके भी कुछ सवाल आपसे पूछ रहे हैं?
यही सवाल ज़्यादा लोग करते हैं कि CA के साथ SIR का क्या रिलेशन है। तो हमने बता दिया उनको जो CA और SIR there are 2 different things.
कि जो 2002 में आपका नाम नहीं है, आपको इसके बाद क्या करना पड़ेगा आपको पता है?
नहीं।
किसी ने बोला नहीं आपको?
बोला CA करने के लिए बोला CA करने के लिए।
For the last 12 days, the Mamta Bala Thakur and some Matua supporters, they were on hunger strike, and finally he was not well, and a request from Abhishek Banerjee, they withdraw the hunger strike. The hunger strike was on SIR. So we are, some of them who were there in the hunger strike, was Mamta Bala Thakur right now is hospitalized. We'll talk to them. आप लोगों का क्या प्रॉब्लम है? आप लोगों का मथुआ लोगों का?
हमारा एक ही दाबी है, जो यहाँ पर आया, जिसका वोट में सरकार हुआ,
उसको नागरिकता दे।
अभी बोलता है तुम बांग्लादेश का प्रूफ लेकर आओ फिर तुमको नागरिक सर्टिफिकेट देगा। ये क्यों करता है हम लोग का साथ?
हम एसआईआर का विरोध में नहीं है, लेकिन जो सिस्टम है ये सिस्टम गलत है। ये सिस्टम के विरुद्ध में हम लोग ये अनुसरण किया है।
We have with us the MLA of Gaighata, Subroto Thakur, and we will talk to him that what BJP thinks. जो कैंप में कुछ लोग हैं, वो कुछ लोग कंफ्यूज्ड हैं, सब लोग नहीं, कुछ लोग कंफ्यूज है कि अगर वो CAA का जो एप्लीकेशन वो मान्यता तो इलेक्शन कमीशन नहीं दे रहा है, इसमें उन लोगों का तो नाम कट जाएगा, क्या होगा?
हम लोग इलेक्शन कमीशन से अनुरोध करेंगे, वी विल अपील कि इतने सारे लोग जो है ये इन लोगों का नाम कट जाएगा तो इसमें कियोस भी होगा और उसमें क्या होगा, इन लोगों का राइट भी है, हम लोग कर सकते हैं, हम लोग बोल सकते हैं। तो हम लोगों को पूरा, मेरा तो पूरा विश्वास है कि जो लोग CA में अप्लाई करेंगे उन लोगों का नाम इस शहर में रहेगा।
A large section of Motuas who influence near about more than 50 seats in assembly constituency, their names will be left out of the electoral rolls. But the question is, people who don't have documents, what will happen to them?
They spark conversations, shape opinions. But who will stand invincible? And the nominations for the Indian of the Year 2025 influencer are Raj Shamani, Kamya Jani, Khan Sir, Parul Gulati, Revant Himmat Singh. Who will be the influencer of the year? RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18 Indian of the Year.
A very good afternoon. You're watching CNN News 18. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Let's begin with the headlines we're tracking at 12. The Delhi Blast probe is now widening. This as Al Falah University founder Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in money laundering case. Anmol Bishnoi, the key accused in the Baba Siddiqui and Siddhu Moosewala murder case, has been deported from the United States to land in India shortly. The NDA has readied for a grand oath ceremony. Nitish to take oath as Bihar's Chief Minister for 10th time on 20th of November in Prime Minister Modi's presence. Congress is upset with Shashi Tharoor after he hails Prime Minister Modi's speech, calls it a petty speech. Big development in the 300 crore Pune land scam case. Ajit Pawar's son Parth Pawar not named in report by investigation report. Lalu's daughter Rohini Acharya has challenged those who accuse her of donating a filthy kidney to her father Lalu Prasad Yadav to open debate. Sabarimala sees massive rush. Opposition blames left and temple board for mismanagement. Just ahead of Prime Minister's visit, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin accuses centre of denying metro rail to Coimbatore and Madurai. BJP hits back, says Tamil culture welcomes everyone. All right, the Delhi blast probe has been uncovering a larger terror conspiracy at play. This as the NIA is now revealing plans to have modified drones for rocket-based attacks in a Hamas-style strike. Jasir Bilal Wani, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and key aide of Omar Nabi, was arrested for providing technical support, including drone modifications and attempts to build rocket bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Javed Ahmad Siddiqui. He's the founder of the Al Falah University in a money laundering case. Why is this significant? In fact, CNN News 18 has accessed the order sending Al Falah founder to 13 days of ED custody. Saket Court says that the custodial interrogation is imperative. Why? Because it will unearth the Al Falah ecosystem, noting only a small part has been identified so far, with the risk he might flee as his family is currently in the Gulf. On that note, quickly bringing you a CNN News 18 mega exclusive. These are inputs brought to us by Security Affairs Editor Manoj Gupta. Investigators are now claiming the Al Falah University knowingly displayed expired NAC accreditation and falsely projected UGC Section 12B recognition only to boost admissions. Archive website snapshots accessed through the ED now show that these claims were deliberate and sustained. CNN News 18 has even accessed the investigation details from ED. According to the police and ED, students and parents were allegedly misled into paying fee for programs portrayed as accredited and eligible for grants. ED sources also highlight diversion of hostel and mess fee to family-linked Amla Enterprises LLP and routing of construction funds. Let's quickly go across to CNN News 18's Anand Narasimhan, who's joining me live from the newsroom. Anand, Al Falah University is now going to be a case study when it comes to the white collar terror module. Take us through how the fundings right from scratch have been misused.
Well, good afternoon, Akanksha, and good afternoon to our viewers. One of the things is that the Siddiqui brothers, they were already under the lens and they were evading law over a chit fund scam that ran into a few lakhs from Mao. And they had a reward on their head. One of the brothers did. But what now ED officials, ever since this entire Al Falah module has been uncovered, when they deep dive, they realize that there has been a lot of deceit and and also dressing up of the numbers, which has been on for many, many years. The most important part is that their accreditations were all outdated and they were showing false accreditation and claiming false UGC grants while trying to attract students. Nearly 415 crore has been raised. There's been a single PAN number. CNN News 18 has access to that PAN number, and what they have done is all entities, universities, colleges and the charitable trust operated from the same PAN. So even if there was siphoning off of funds, it was not easy to be monitored, and it was all layered. In fact, they also diverted education funds towards their construction companies and also another company called Amla Enterprises LLP, which was actually a family-controlled firm. Now, what ED officials are telling CNN News 18 and also via Manoj Kumar Gupta is the fact that this is a classic money laundering operation of whitewashing money, of trying to round-trip money. This is what they are doing. This is an organized economic crime that the Al Falah principals have been involved in. No surprises that Al Falah wanted to try and keep it low-key and did not want to even issue a statement, because they knew that their role as a place where these jihadi doctors and these doctors of death were actually plotting, meeting and engaging will also land them into trouble, because there will be other skeletons that will tumble out of the closet. Now, the concern remains what happens to the students and the parents of these students and these families who trusted the Al Falah University and have sent their wards there. What happens to their degrees, their qualifications, if the status of this university itself is dubious? If its accreditations had expired 7 years ago, then all those people holding degrees from the Al Falah University, their degrees now stand terminated or unrecognizable. So these are valuable years of youngsters, of people who they have played with. They have played with the lives of the future of these people, and this means that there could be another social issue that will snowball out of the Al Falah University investigations. But more importantly, this entire round tripping also then leads the investigators to believe that somebody who's engaged in organized crime, organized economic crime, could they also have a soft corner for certain elements who are acting against the interest of society.
So, Anand, when we talk about the overall funding of this entire terror module, the doctors also had sort of assimilated a pool of money. But when we talk about this kind of bogus funding behind Al Falah University, whether it is through the false flagging of the UGC recognition or that fake NAC accreditation, or the expired one rather, are we also looking at a possible routing of funds through the way this money had been gathered, which could also possibly have been responsible for the Red Fort terror blast?
That is all subject to investigation. Whether the principals of the Al Falah University were directly involved in engaging and funding this module, that is subject to investigation, and we should not venture into that territory as of now because there is no direct lead. But this university has hired people who have been deemed persona non grata or acting against the interests of the state by the Jammu and Kashmir government. There was another doctor, Dr. Hassan, if I remember his name correctly, whose services had been terminated because he was acting against the interests of the state, and he was again one of these white-collared rogues who were using their government employ and their job for doing work or activities which were not in consonance with the tricolour and with the constitution, and that's why their services were terminated. But within a month of that service being terminated and then being dishonorably discharged from Jammu and Kashmir administration, that person found employ at the Al Falah University. So then that leads to a certain ideological sympathizing. Was that going on? Was there a soft accommodation of entities who the state had rejected as dangerous to the state, but they thought that they will try and cultivate them and give them a place to try and be present. So this is very, very layered in terms of sentiment and ideological, and was it driven by faith, etc., or was it just part of this entire organized economic crime operation which was already running on fraud? So that is something which the investigators will now deep dive into and understand the extent of involvement of these people. But one must say that majority of the people who sent their wards, families, and majority of the students who studied there, graduated over the last 6-7 years, they came there with trusting the university to be genuine, trusting that the university will give them a degree that will have a certain level of validity, and trusting their claimed accreditations and grants, permissions, etc. Now, what happens to these families and their degrees is another challenge, because these fake universities, and there is also another question, Akanksha, which needs to be asked of the bureaucratic hierarchy and the babus within the education ministry, etc. How are these universities with such fake accreditations or expired accreditations and claims, how are they able to operate not just at one place but at multiple locations?
Right.
Who's monitoring them? Is there a periodic check or not? And how many other such fake universities are currently around? These are all big questions.
Absolutely. Al Falah is perhaps just one of them. And when we talk about this terror ecosystem, the other big question also remains, who is supporting this entire ecosystem? Going to request Anand to continue staying with us, getting in more breaking inputs. Mehbooba Mufti's daughter, Iltija Mufti, has now stoked a fresh row with her latest comment on the Delhi terror attack. Iltija Mufti has now said that one must introspect and wonder where we are headed towards as a society, a problem that people refuse to acknowledge or admit. Let's listen in to what she's had to say. All right, we'll play that reaction in a bit, but Anand joins me. Anand, on a day when we also have somebody like Asaduddin Owaisi completely condemn Omar Nabi's speech, you also have terror sympathizers, that too from the polity of Jammu and Kashmir, who continue to support this kind of terror.
Iltija Mufti is echoing Imran Masood. So there will always be these sympathizers and apologists for radicals. They are not misguided. They are not, this is not a problem. These are all guided, weaponized missiles against Indian society. And these people have been radicalized by entities who are enemies of the state and who don't identify with the tricolour. And Iltija Mufti, Mehbooba Mufti, the PDP has been infamous for trying to dally with such entities in Jammu and Kashmir. But Miss Iltija Mufti should use her better sense to understand that people who are educated, who are formally trained, how is it that a pediatrics, an MD pediatrics, how is it a gold medalist in medical science and examinations, and how is it that someone who is a regular doctor serving at the government medical college in Srinagar turns into a Maulvi in Naugam, and he's radicalizing and he's peddling Jaish literature and virulent ideology. These are not issues. This is not a problem, and nor are these misguided. These are entities who are radicalized, who I don't identify with the tricolor and the Indian state. Ms. Iltija Mufti needs to consider that her mother herself has signed and taken sworn on the constitution and has accepted the tricolor. So if this is Hindustan, people who are pushing a narrative which is, alien to Hindustan or against the very brain of Hindustan or vein of Hindustan or what we stand for as a nation and the tricolor, these people deserve no sympathy. This is not a problem. This is an issue that needs to be dealt with because there has been this soft peddling and patronage of these white-collared radicals and white-collared terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir and elsewhere, and it is these white-collared radicals and white-collared terrorists who need to be denounced and rejected, that they do not represent all of society. Ms. Iltija Mufti, Mehbooba Mufti, Imran Masood and all of them have to now reconsider their words and say, first reject these people. Say they are not part of the Muslim society, they are not part of the Indian society, these are all exceptions and they are not a problem. They are guided, weaponized entities who have been guided, weaponized because of certain mullahs and maulvis who are getting a free run. Sitting on the mimbar in mosques, which is supposed to be a place of a holy place where you're supposed to be the voice of Allah or voice of God. You're supposed to disseminate knowledge, information which talks about humanism and humanity. You are not supposed to be sitting there and radicalizing entities against the state and goading them to take the lives of innocents. So that is the problem. These mullahs and maulvis are the problem, and a free run for such radicals is the problem. Absolutely. And Iltija Mufti needs to put in her efforts to work towards that. That would be the suggestion that people would want to make.
Absolutely. The mullahs, maulvis and influential political figures, whether it is Iltija Mufti, her mother Mehbooba Mufti, or even Farooq Abdullah, the National Conference Chief. Many thanks to you, Anand, for putting that into perspective for us. That's also elicited a response from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's listen in to what Shahzad Poonawala of the BJP has had to say.
वोट बैंक के नाम पर आतंकी बचाओ गैंग फिर से एक बार काम पर। पहले महबूबा मुफ्ती ने आतंकी हमले को दिल्ली में जस्टिफाई किया, अब उनकी बेटी इल्तिजा मुफ्ती भी विक्टिमहुड कार्ड खेलकर जस्टिफाई कर रही है। और ये कोई एकलौते नहीं है, ये पूरी स्पिन डॉक्टर्स ऑफ टेरर की इकोसिस्टम है। ये वही लोग हैं जो अफजल गुरु, याकूब मेमन, बुरहान वानी, फिर सिमी के आतंकी, इनकी पैरवी करते हैं, बाटला हाउस एनकाउंटर के टेररिस्ट की पैरवी करते हैं। इनका एक ही लक्ष्य है, वोट बैंक नीति अभाव राष्ट्र नीति। वोट बैंक के लिए आतंकी बचाओ गैंग फिर से काम पर।
Getting in more breaking inputs coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. Exclusive visuals coming in from a hospital in Srinagar where lockers were broken by hospital administration for checking. And Jammu and Kashmir Health Department even issued instructions to check all lockers in the hospital and then issue lockers to doctors and paramedical staff with proper nameplate and takeover process also mentioned. Let's quickly go across to this for more details on this story to Eshan Wani. Eshan, given the security situation in the valley, is this a closely monitored exercise being deliberately undertaken?
Well, this exercise will be undertaken at most of the hospitals because there has been a deadline that has been set by the administration after what we saw unfold at GMC and Patna, where an AK rifle was recovered from the locker of place Dr. Adil, who was part of this quote-unquote white-collar group, terrorist group. And since then, there have been orders coming in from every hospital administration asking the doctors to recheck their lockers and to identify them so that there could be no other involvement seen in this case. And that's why certain lockers which are unidentified, those which were still locked, because remember Dr. Adil had left the hospital and still the locker was locked under his name. So to avoid any kind of misadventure or any kind of such kind of act being again repeated, the administration has tightened its nose on the hospital premises and are asking doctors to identify their lockers. If they don't identify it for a certain period of time, the locker doors, locks are being broken and they are checking to what really is inside and to ensure that there is a transparent way of giving these lockers as well. Because certain doctors leave and they don't open their lockers for a very long time, and that's why this kind of exercise is being done across hospitals in the Kashmir Valley.
Many thanks to you, Ishan, for bringing us all those latest inputs. This is just one of the security exercises being undertaken. Remember, doctors are now the new face of the white white-collar terror module that is coming to the forefront from the valley, especially all the way to Faridabad here in the national capital. Quickly shifting focus over to the other big story we've been tracking this hour. It's a major boost for Indian agencies. The United States has deported Anmol Bishnoi. Who is he? He's the younger brother of gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. The US Department of Homeland Security formally informed Zishan Siddiqui, the son of Baba Siddiqui, about the deportation via an email. Anmol has been wanted in India in multiple violent crime cases and is facing at least 9 arrest warrants. He's expected to arrive today, in fact, in some time from now. Sources also have informed CNN News 18 that he's being deported as part of a larger group of around 200 illegal immigrants being removed under strict US immigration rules. CNN News 18 even spoke to the brother of Ramesh Bishnoi, who said that the family is worried for Anmol's safety and they're demanding a fair trial for him. Let's listen in to this conversation.
अनमोल को डिपोर्ट किया जा रहा है यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स से, इस बारे में आप लोगों को कोई जानकारी है? क्या यूएस अथॉरिटीज़